What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London, saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland for Overwatch Spring Split 2023. I'm excited for this. I am Shelter and I'm joined here by Toasty. How you doing, mate?
Not too bad, not too bad. Very excited to get in here with the Swiss stage. Well, the end of it anyway. It's going to be a fun one, hopefully. We have some pretty good teams cooking up here, as you can see above our heads. We've got Warwick Angels, Portsmouth Paladins, two incredible teams, I think. So we're up for a good match here, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm excited. These teams are two big contenders that are looking to win the whole thing, and they've prominently shown in previous Newell tournaments to be excellent running members. A lot of high-level players here. I am extremely excited. One thing I'm incredibly excited for within this game is also this will be the first time that we see Ramatra being played in the collegiate level. I am gassed for that. So regarding Ramatra, do you think we'll see any sort of Ramatra plays, or do you think we're going to stick to solid like Monkey, Winston, Ryan, and all those solid tanks?
It's very hard to say. The meta's a lot, it's a lot of just a mishmash of whatever people like to play, right, at this point. I mean, if you've been watching Pro-Am, for example, there's been a lot of variation in the compositions up there. In sort of the pro player level, you've got, like, Doomfist comps being around, Doomfist mirrors, Ryan mirrors. You've got some, like, Winston versus D.Va sort of thing. It really is map-dependent, and I think any place you could play Reinhardt, you could theoretically play Ramatra. I know Reinhardt's quite a popular pick at the minute, so we're expecting to see that, hopefully, potentially like a Ramatra versus Reinhardt matchup at some point. But it really comes down to what maps we're going to be seeing, and that does come down to, of course, the higher seed picking that map. So they'll pick their strengths. I wouldn't imagine people are too comfortable on Ramatra at the minute, though.
Yeah, I think I might agree. Though, I'm not going to lie, I am having my fingers crossed just to see, hopefully we get at least one game with Ramatra, because, you know, it's always exciting to see new stuff. We will be heading into Control Point on our first game, and I believe the options are Busan, Lijiang Tower, Oasis, and Ilios. So, I mean, I don't know these teams too well, but I've seen them now and then. I've seen a lot of Ilios-favoured picks, especially coming from Portsmouth and both Warwick Angels, actually. I lied. They both like to see Ilios, so I'm going to put my bet on Ilios being our first game. So, hypothetically, if Ilios was our first game, what do you think would be some good comps to run here?
I mean, we've seen it in Pro-Am, and I think it could be seen here. A dive mirror, right? But not your conventional sort of Winston versus Winston. In Pro-Am, I think we saw, I can't remember what team it was, it should be Shikigami, potentially. Can't remember. They played D.Va instead of the Winston, and it was quite good. You get a lot of peel potential with it, but you also get a lot of very aggressive dive potential with it. Very flexible pick. And I think that could be something we potentially see here. Something to note about Portsmouth, they do have a secret composition cooking up with a player that is currently on their bench. I'm not gonna reveal that just yet because it'll be more of a suspenseful reveal if you reveal it when it happens. It'll be fun, don't worry. But they have something cooking up. Not sure if it'll be a control pick or what, maybe a push pick. We'll see. As we are, you know, we're getting towards getting people in lobby here, and as Warwick starts to sort of arrive, I honestly think they have a bit of a game ahead of them here. They have lost against Portsmouth already this season. In fact, quite recently, last week, literally, on the 27th. So they have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I am excited. I think we're going to make sure you get your popcorn ready for this one, because I think it's going to be a long one. Very close, very evenly matched teams. Very exciting stuff. And you got to remember on maps like what's the word? I've completely gone blank. Ruins, that's it. Ilios Ruins. Very, very popular Widowmaker map. I think it's one of Widowmaker's best maps. So everybody loves to see a Widowmaker duels, especially. So I'm hoping to see the talent from the hitscan players on both teams shine, especially on maps like that. But also, I'm curious regarding Dive. in your personal opinion, as you were talking about, D.Va's a very flexible pick. She can offer great healing for her backline. She can offer that aggression as well for the front line. Do you still think, generally, in dive comps, Winston is better? Because as far as a lot of pro players, or as I say, like tier 3 sort of level players, they all simultaneously agree that in the previous meta, Winston was just like genuinely the better dive pick, and when you would go dive, you would go Winston. D.Va was more a personal pick towards the tank player. Do you agree with that still, or do you feel like it could be different now?
I agree with that. It comes down to the personal playstyle of the tank, right? Like I know a few tanks sort of in this level, sort of collegiate level, that play that D.Va because they prefer it. They come from like an off-tank background, right? Before Overwatch 2 was Overwatch 2, the dark old days, you know, back when off-tanks actually existed. Yeah, D.Va players will tend to play D.Va, Winston players will tend to play Winston, and there is a massive playstyle clash between those, because if you're playing Winston, you're usually staging and setting up for dives, whereas D.Va's a lot more all over the place, zipping around, protecting your back line, then you're diving, then you're back, and it's like, it's a lot more chaotic, I guess, if there's a D.Va in the mix, so, you're going to have some fun casting this, I reckon.
Absolutely. I am very excited. I'm super pumped. Of course, Overwatch being the fast-paced game that it is, I've got to get the energy flowing, get the hype going, and I'm sure everybody watching this on the stream, I hope you're all comfy, I hope you're all ready. But I hope you're still hyped up for this match. I hope you're all chanting your support for the team you want to win in the chat. We want to see the love and support. I'm sure the players would appreciate any love and support going their way as well, if they decide to VOD review this game, because I'm sure they will. They're very high level at this point. Now moving on from Ilios, let's look at Busan. I feel like Busan would also be a very interesting map. There's a lot of fluidity when it comes to comps. Generally speaking, even when there was a defined meta on those 3 maps in Busan. Now, especially when there isn't really a defined meta, I'm excited to see what the teams will cook up. What do you think we'll see on Busan, Toasty?
Like you say, it's very wide, it's very varied. I think it depends what map you're on. Mecha base, you might see some brawl stuff like the Matcha, the Reinhardt. For Sanctuary, you could see potentially some Wrecking Ball, maybe some like Winston D.Va stuff there as well. Anything really fast-paced and divey. And then it's always a toss-up for City Center, because it's like you can play the dive there. But in terms of point control, you can also play the Reinhardt and play inside the cubby, so it really depends on what the teams prefer. Reinhardt is a pick that obviously is quite popular at the minute, and on Busan specifically, you can run it on all 3 maps technically, although I would expect to see more dive stuff, I guess on Downtown and Sanctuary. So, like we say, it's all speculation, who knows, like, we could get literally anything here. We could get a Doomfist even, right? We've not even mentioned Doomfist.
Yes, I completely forgot about Doomfist. I forgot that he did get buffed quite a bit ago. How long was it? Like 2 months or so, maybe a month and a half. He got a fairly significant buff. I personally don't feel like it's enough to really bring him to the forefront of the meta, but you never know. I may eat my words in a few minutes when we get the game up and going. But for the meantime, I would love to see it. I just love to see a whole dynamic range rather than everybody running the same comps over and over again, like the dark days, as you were saying. Speaking of the dark days, do you think we'll see any spam comps, maybe a Sigma coming into play? It's obviously a lot less prevalent now with the lack of double shield, but maybe, do you think we'll see anything like that?
It's been run to little success in Pro-Am, and you'll hear me mentioning Pro-Am a lot during this sort of tournament, right? Because it's the only tape we have of the current meta, the current patch, other than like leak scrims and stuff like that. So generally, it's not been played to great success in my opinion. It's a really hard style to pull off against the fast-paced kind of Overwatch 2 style, right? Sigma doesn't really work as a tank in Overwatch 2, that is my personal opinion. Obviously on maps like Circuit Royale, Havana, etc., Sigma can work, but it's a case of like a strong map dependency rather than like an actual playstyle thing. That's why I don't like Overwatch 2 to some degree, because some tanks just don't fit into the fast-paced gameplay that it brings, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit sad because as a former off-tank player from Overwatch 1, it was always fun to chuck out Sigma in a few games now and then, even though he did eventually get relatively annoying, both to play as and to play against. But still, hats off to our off-tank players. We all salute you, and we hope you're doing okay currently in Overwatch 2. Anyway, we'll go into another map, because I want to really get an in-depth analysis before we go on there. Kind of get predictions. Sorry, just get the ball rolling, get everybody warmed up, ready for the game. Our next map we can look at is Lijiang. a fan favorite. I think
Yeah.
personally, I think it's the second most popular map from Overwatch 1, behind King's Row, of course, and another map that did promote Zarya and Reinhardt players. Now, yes, Reinhardt very prominent. I think he was played a pro am as well, but Zarya, we're seeing very little of her now, especially after those cooldown nerfs on her bubble.
Yeah.
Maybe, do you think we'll see any Zarya play? I'm not sure.
Nah, I can't see it happening. I remember there was like 1 week during the Orisa meta, right, that we had a couple of weeks back, where everyone was like, "Oh my God, Zarya is an Orisa counter. Everyone just plays Zarya into Orisa," and then everyone found out it actually wasn't that effective.
Yeah.
So, and then the nerfs came in, and obviously, yeah, Zarya is just not really playable at the minute, especially into dive comps, right? I mean, if you're expending both of your bubbles in a non-selfish way as Zarya, where are you getting your damage from? Where are you going to play aggressive? Where are you going to make use of your high damage output? If you have to constantly be peeling for your backline. That's why a D.Va's better, because you peel for your backline, then you can go back to being aggressive immediately. So the Zarya doesn't really work stylistically. It's like Sigma in a way. You're very devoted to one specific style.
Yeah, they're both kind of like reactive tanks, whereas Monkey
Yeah.
and D.Va are very proactive and make the plays themselves. So yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from. I'm a personal Zarya fan though, so
You're an
I
off-tank
pray to the
player.
Overwatch gods. Yeah, exactly. D.Va Zarya, that's my ends. But I pray to the Overwatch gods that we may see a Zarya game though. As with you, I think I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it, but hey, you never know. Finally, we look at Oasis. Very interesting map in past metas as well. We see very similar comps being played yet again and again on Oasis. The meta doesn't have as much of a fluid place on that map. What do you think we'll see in this match here if we get Oasis?
If we get Oasis, it's dive all the way.
Yeah.
Like University might be an exception. Yeah, you'll play some Reinhardt, and then you'll get absolutely domed, because the open space just makes it so hard. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, University's a Reinhardt map." Like, no, if you know how to play dive, just play dive. And that is calling out everyone in chat right now. If you go into comp matches and you say, "Oh, play Reinhardt, we're on University," you are my mortal enemy. I'm just saying.
Fair enough, no arguments here. I kind of agree with you there. I'm not a big Reinhardt fan, but there's always those. It's always those old main tank players who've been around for a while. Love them to bits. They watch LH Cloudy and they praise LH Cloudy for the god Reinhardt player that he is, and try and do the same, and yet they run it down a bit. So I'm sorry to all you Reinhardt mains out there, but get better. But anyway, we see players slowly coming into the lobby now. At the minute, we're just making sure we're getting everything sorted out. Very, very exciting stuff. Now, regarding the players themselves, I've recognized a few names on here. Todos fan, especially known for a really good Monkey. I'm excited to see how good his teammates will follow up on his dives, because previous news, as far as I remember, he would create an amazing pressure on the back line. He would make so much space, but unfortunately, I don't know whether it's due to miscommunication or him not really communicating his own thoughts enough. Yeah. I feel like he would often jump in and then make some space, do brilliant work, but then unfortunately die alone, and his team were left 4v5. Hoping that they fix that here. What do you think? What, in your sense right now, in regarding this fluid meta? Design your own comp right now.
Design my own comp.
Sorry, I'm not very good at explaining myself here, but okay, let's make a whole theoretical thing, because we've got some time on our hands here.
Okay.
We go to Ilios, right? The first map is, let's say, Lighthouse. Okay. What should they play? What should teams play there on Lighthouse?
I'm not Portsmouth and I'm not Warwick. I couldn't tell you, right? Like, for all I know, we could have like an incredible Sigma one trick, and like they could just completely throw us off the rails, right? I think Lighthouse, very mobility heavy, very high ground oriented. Winston, Doomfist, D.Va, anything like that. Even a Wrecking Ball, but like we say, I don't think we're going to see that as frequently, just because Winston, D.Va a bit more, I guess, present in the front line than Ball is. Ball is just annoying to play against, generally. So yeah, I reckon Lighthouse, you could probably see like some Winston, D.Va stuff. And that applies, I think, as well to the other two, to some degree. Ruins, right? If you can be playing those Widowmakers you mentioned, yeah, 100% you can be playing the dive. or unless you're playing like some Reinhardt and you're going for like hard point control and using a lot of cover. But it's a very hard style to play against the Widowmaker, so and the same goes for Well. I think you'll be seeing either high mobility or a Rhine mirror there.
Oh, yeah, I think you might be right there. But we are talking all about the front line and a bit of DPS here, but we're not giving a love to our friends up in the back line, the supports. All right, I personally feel we'll see a lot of Lucio. Lucio has been meta since the beginning of Overwatch. He's so good. He provides so much utility. He provides so much like ample space. He's got the speed. He's got the heals. He's got the beat, which is such a good ultimate. I'm pretty sure we're going to see him. But personally, what do you think, Toasty? What do you think we're going to see in our backline friends over in the supports on both teams?
It's a very simple answer. Kiriko Lucio. That is my answer. Like Lucio, very high mobility. You're able to frag quite a fair bit and also disrupt with the sound wave. So I reckon that's like why Lucio's a good pick right now, and the speed boost as well, right? If you're playing Reinhardt comps, if you're playing Winston comps, speed boost is very good to have. The Kiriko, literally the most broken support in the game at the minute, regardless of any nerfs that have been happening. You know, you've got the Suzu, you've got the teleport, lot of survivability, a lot of damage output, and a surprising amount of healing, right? I mean, you know, Kiriko's like on sort of like Ana levels of healing, I reckon, similar to that. So very, very versatile support, and I reckon that's what we'll be seeing today. So doesn't matter the map. I think it's just a normal thing. Maybe Baptiste if like it's a map that doesn't really work for Kiriko, like not a lot of wall climbing, that sort of thing. But who knows?
Yeah, I think you're 100% right there. We have got the first map pick locked in, and I was right.
Yes.
It's going to be Ilios. We've talked about it. We've discussed it. Exciting stuff. Ilios gamers, are you out there? I hope you are, because we are going to probably be seeing a lot of Ilios throughout the tournament, not just in this game. It's a very popular map, and especially with the hole, we love to see a boop. I'm hoping for some environmental kills up in Well, especially. Lucio boops. Hey, we may even see a Roadhog now and then. Doubt it, but you never know. It could be, there is potential there. So yeah, we are heading over to Ilios. Exciting stuff there as the teams just get themselves sorted out. Both teams, as stated in the lobby chat, both teams are also talking about how that's kind of the map they were going for. As I was talking about, both teams are big Ilios fan. And so am I in some way. Who doesn't love a bit of Santorini? It's a beautiful place, both in Overwatch and in the real world. Lovely, lovely sights there.
Yeah, for sure. And also, real quick as well, I just want to mention something that we haven't really mentioned yet, is the long-standing Warwick-Portsmouth rivalry. As far as I remember, like, this was the Winter 2021 finals, I think it was. Warwick versus Portsmouth, I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was. So a very long-standing rivalry here, right? So it all comes down to this first map, right? This is, I guess, why we've been talking about the first map quite a fair bit here. It's because getting this early lead, getting an early first map up, and if best of 3 series, it's not best of 5, it's best of 3, right? So that one map is very important to get a leg up on a long-term rival, you know, the Warwick versus Portsmouth type thing. So I'm very like eager to see and get into the first map here and see who gets that first leg up, because at that point it's technically a reverse sweep if the other team wins, right? So you know, best of 3 series are quite, you know, awkward in that way. But we are heading right into Ilios here. Finally, without further ado, we're gonna see the compositions in about 20 seconds here. And yeah, it's your turn. Theorize. What do you think we'll get?
All right, I fully agree with you. That support backline, they are just 2 very strong, powerful supports. The other alternatives are very weak in comparison. So it's going to be Lucio, Kiriko. I think the front line's going to be Winston on the tank there, and I believe the DPS we may see a we may see a pharmacy, because there's a very strong pharmacy map. I do think we're also possibly going to be seeing you know, maybe a McCree, also another very strong pick on Lighthouse. Sorry, not Lighthouse. Well, where we are. We actually are seeing Hammond. I doubt this going to be locking. I think
it's a lock.
Side, sorry, Warwick side, we're going to actually be seeing a more similar comp. Is it a lock? I think
it's going to be a lock because Toxic is in. This is the player I was talking about. Toxic, the Brig OTP is in. Zen Brig here with the Wrecking Ball. So a lot of backline survivability here. Discord for some focus fire. I'm curious to see how Lukey Boy like orchestrates these dives. This is going to be great.
Yeah, these are going to be very interesting team fights as we get the first team right underway. So Meta setting up, Meta 1 down in the middle of the point under the shade. Cozy. Just a bit of poke down coming back as Sarah focuses. I don't want to be you, and immediately takes him down. What a beautiful pick right there. Straight off the bat, that's very valuable. Roston also takes down Toxinator on the break. That is immediately leader Portsmouth down for the count straight away as Warwick take control of the point on the first fight. Damn, that was just over in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, and you can see the usefulness of the D.Va now, right? So much mobility, able to just get into the backline, harass, and then go back to the supports. None of the supports died there for the red side here, so very good stuff. And again, Lukey Boy just getting forced away by the D.Va.
Absolutely. That pull, while he's being annoying, he's not actually achieving much in comparison to the value that Insera is getting on the D.Va here as he's forced into the corner, eventually going to back out because, you know, Hammond and his mobility. We gotta love it. Now we see Warwick taking cover under the shade that once Portsmouth did. You see poke being taken back and forth, just a bit of pokes. Back and forth again and again. There's not much else going on. This is now spam meta. What's happening here? You see Insera being taken down halfway through. Code nearly live. Eventually gets taken out by I Don't Want to Be You, but Insera returns the favor onto him. As we see Insera getting incredibly low, just being able to escape with his life. His Rift takes down Rodzen. Both Rodzen and his turret are down for the count. Lucy Ball gunning for Insera here, but can't quite get the kill as T-Dog takes down Rift. Oh my gosh, it's back and forth. No clear winner here. Oh, Toxinator just barely escaping with his life there. Insera really providing so much pressure on the side of Warwick. T-Dog also taking down Lukey Boy, and that will be another fight win for for Warwick as they hold the point yet again.
Yeah, exactly. A very chaotic fight there, but again, it will be the Paladins coming out on top. And in a lot of these fights, Rift is actually going down throughout the fight or very early on. And again, getting isolated here by the D.Va in this situation, it's very difficult for Rift to get into that backline and do something.
Yeah, absolutely. He can't quite just get the value he can because of that D.Va. Insera actually playing exceptionally well, really showing the potential that D.Va can provide. Lovely little sticky bomb, can't quite get the kill onto I Don't Want to Be, sorry, not I Don't Want to Be You, Key Dog. The Fox comes out, Kiriko, sorry. And we see just poke back and forth again, nearly taking out Meta 1, but thankfully beautiful healing coming from the side of Warwick as he escapes with his life. Ron's getting down, just get taken out by Todos, but Code returns the favor onto Todos. That's what we love to see. DSP Stanky style, DPS Lucio. As we get overtime ticks down, Warwick still holding point, looking incredibly dominant. Portsmouth not really showing up on this match. Lovely little bit, just manages to stay alive from Lukey Boy. B coming down, and Sarah also taking down Rift. He's not quite getting there, Portsmouth. It's now or nothing. You gotta touch the point, and he does, simply thanks to Lukey Boy's mobility. And Sarah also taking down I Don't Want to Be You. That T-Dog taking down Toxinator as well. And I believe that should be it for Portsmouth. They're down for the count, and well goes to Warwick.
Yeah, that was an interesting first point, I have to say, but Warwick showing a very good showing here. Just quick note for stream, yes, the team names are the wrong way around here. We'll sort that out just shortly for you, but yeah, Warwick on the red hand side, and yeah, 100-0, very, very dominant start there because in my opinion, they were just playing the better composition. Lukey Boy struggling to get into that backline and make a play. Even when they did, Rift was getting dinked by Keydog, by the way. A couple of times there, Keydog was getting those crucial kills onto the backline. And this is the thing about the Kiriko. It's not just about survivability. It's about being able to defend yourself. It's like a Zenyatta, right? A lot of kill potential there. So I love the support line and how they're playing so far here for the Warwick side. And Portsmouth have to answer back now. They're going to a Zarya comp.
Oh, here we go. We said it wouldn't happen, but there is Lukey Boy on the Zarya. I do apologize for getting the teams mixed up. So this is, I believe, Warwick now coming onto the point, trying to make some space here on the Zarya. But not quite landing any shots thanks to the D.Va just eating up any projectiles coming their way. But they immediately get control of the point. And now this point is a very dangerous spot. Todos gets a beautiful right click onto Code. That's their main healer down, and they're probably going to have to back off from that. I doubt they're going to get any more value from this pick as Lukey Boy also takes down Monson. Turret. Yeah, it's just poke back and forth now, trying to get as much ult as possible before they can actually enter the site. Very broad, prominent comp coming in from Warwick here, taking control of the point, looking very dominant. As Rift immediately takes down Rosal again, and then they have to wait even longer before they can push.
Yeah, it's just going to have to be a hard reset here. I'm not sure poking is the best decision for the Warwick Angels, even if you want that ult charge. Meta 1 on the Symmetra here doesn't really synergize with anything else that's being played by the Warwick Angels. I'm not sure if this is a comfort pick or what, but it's very intriguing. And maybe the idea is to try and get a TP into the backline and just hard dive I Don't Want to Be You and Toxic. But even then, they have survivability.
Yes, I believe if I remember from last season of Neil, Meta 1 is actually a Symmetra 1 trick. So we should be seeing a lot of Symmetra there. I completely forgot about that myself. Oh, lovely little boot coming in from Cobra. Can't quite to finish because his Kiriko mobility is absolutely insane. We just see Rift poking out the rest of the enemy team. Can't quite seem to land anything because Diva's tanking it. So he goes running into Insera. I don't want to beat you. Actually does take down Meta 1. Kiriko's support, by the way, she's actually a DPS, funnily enough, as Rift gets a lovely little high noon to both DMEC and kill Insera, as the rest of Warwick just clean up house. He's still holding on to the point, and now we're seeing basically a complete reversal of what we saw on Well.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a strong point control here where Warwick, they can't really engage without dealing with a Mei, a Cassidy, and a lot of survivability from this Kiriko Lucio. So, very hard to engage here as a Necro takes a lot of spam on the way in, and a Blizzard here from Todos can just shut down a push immediately.
I am excited though, as a D.Va enthusiast. I'm hoping Insera leads the grab or the Blizzard here. It will be very high if they do. The Dragon comes out, both the Symmetra. There comes the Mei out. Rosden actually gets a pick onto Rift. That's the opportunity they were looking for, but Todos returns the favor onto Rosden. Absolutely the same picture. There's the grab coming out. Lovely little charge from Lucky Boy, but immediately gets taken down thanks to the Symmetra and Insera's damage as he gets a double kill on both Toxic and Lucky Boy. Meta 1 picking up I Don't Want to Be You, and Todos returning the favor, but I don't think that's going to be enough, as eventually Portsmouth are going to retake the point.
It's a hard graft here from here on out, though, right? 100% is what they have to get from here. Otherwise, like, one lost fight is just going to lose them the entire round. Sure, there's no ults here for the Portsmouth Paladins, so Warwick have at least a bit of a chance in terms of their ult rotations. Code needs to be very careful on how this sound barrier gets used, though.
Yeah, absolutely, it's key. I think it might be a game or fake. Oh my gosh, Rift cancels the code. Oh, there's no sound barrier coming for Portsmouth, I believe. That's Meta 1 also taking down Toxinator. Wasn't picking up Lukey Boy though, but still, I don't think that's absolutely huge. That's absolutely huge. As we see Rift also takes down Meta 1. Back and forth trades. There's overtime ticking down as now Warwick control the point, but it doesn't matter. We see Portsmouth picking up kill after kill, and they should eventually recap the point back. But my gosh, that was huge code now with no ultimate.
Yeah, I may have cursed that a little bit. I was talking about Code needing to use it well and immediately Ajaxes, but it doesn't matter there. Code at least got some use out of it, right? Distracting the enemy team, I suppose, right? Tactical play. And now it's all up to Warwick to try and hold this high ground and deal with the oncoming push. Lukey Boy has actually not got too much mobility, so this rotation really matters.
Absolutely, we see them rotation to the shade again back in the center of the map. Very safe place to rotate. They can't really push into that now, thanks to the lack of the brawl potential on the side of Portsmouth. But we do have a D.Va bomb coming in. We also have Dragons. They've got a lot of bombs. There is the Suzy. Sorry, not Suzy. The Kirito ult coming out. Rosden with the Dragons actually manages to get a pick onto Todos. Left. That's 4v5 now in favor of Portsmouth, I believe. There's another pick from Insera onto Lucky Boy. Oh my gosh, Portsmouth looking incredibly dominant. You don't need no brawl when you've got Insera on this D.Va. It's basically a fat tracer. And IDW has to reset, and there we go, another fight in favor of Portsmouth.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, it's Warwick here on the red side. Warwick, yeah, very dominant, 92%. Someone's going to have to touch it from the Paladins, and I reckon it's going to be this Wrecking Ball. There we go, Lukey Boy is on it, but probably sacrificing their life for this one.
Yeah, we do have Todos coming in. Don't know there's much they can do apart from just jump in and stall with Ice Lock. Meta 1 also taking down Lucky Boy. Rift going down. I think that's it. I believe Warwick will be the ones to pick up Ilios. Sorry for the confusion before. There we go. Oh, goodbye Todos. Goodbye Cruel World as he falls off the map. 99 to 99. Very well put up fight from Portsmouth, but Warwick will take.
Yeah, that was a performance from the Warwick Angels, I have to say, and it completely goes against the past result, right? Portsmouth winning 2-0 against Warwick in their previous game. Warwick are coming back with a vengeance here, and I'm all for it. This support play has been incredible, from both sides, actually, I will say, but mostly from Warwick, right? The Kiriko play is something I'm very impressed by, the bloodthirsty support play from Keydog, and Warwick Angels as well, they're playing around the D.Va so effectively. They're allowing an Necro to go so aggro, but also playing so defensively that they can just sort of, like, play casually, right? The Kiriko doesn't have to worry about being peeled for by a Necro because that's Suzu, and that's the strength of that pick. And I think generally Portsmouth just came out of the gate a little bit weak there, and they have to answer back now.
Yeah, and I also want to highlight Meta 1 as well. Incredible Symmetra play and showing how being a one-trick can actually get you far.
Yeah.
We don't see Symmetra being that much of a flexible pick, but Meta 1 proving us all wrong. Incredible sentry placement, really helping in Sarah as well. Dive the backline and getting those picks. Just beautiful all economy all around. Even though Code did have a little bit of a slip up, they did end up winning that fight anyway. So Warwick looking incredibly strong there. Hats off to them. If they keep this up, we might see a quick 3-0. Sorry, 2-0, because it is a best of 3. I completely forgot. We are, I believe, possibly heading over to Rialto for Escort. I might be getting confused. Yes, I believe we are heading over to Rialto. So, yeah. Rialto. We haven't seen this map. This map just got rotated in by Blizzard into the official map pool. So what do you think we'll see now in Overwatch 2?
Judging by what these teams are playing, Dive, right? I mean, Warwick Angel's looking incredible on the D.Va, and I like Rialto's high grounds. I don't think there's any reason not to play the D.Va here, especially on first point. You've got so many high grounds to play off of, even on second point as well. I think it's just so powerful for a Necro to play that, just harass the backline from above. Portsmouth, I don't know what, like, Lukey Boy is really comfortable on. Right, like, it seems like Zarya is like a pick they wanted to play, and they also wanted to play the Wrecking Ball there, but neither of those are very meta picks, and neither of those work well against the D.Va. I mean, yeah, sure, you can't, eat a Zarya beam, but who cares when you have high ground control and Zarya can't access you, right? It doesn't really matter, so Portsmouth need to really figure out what composition they're going to go with here, especially knowing Warwick's style now, right? They've already won against them before. It shouldn't be too difficult to figure them out.
Absolutely, but we do want to point out, I think there have been a few player switch-ups from previous season. I don't recognize the name in Senra. I apologize if I'm just forgetting. My memory is terrible. But so that might be the cause of Warwick's prominent dominance, purely because now they've got new players, fresh talent coming into the team. They're switching up a bit of the strap, but still got that team cohesion, and it's clearly proving to be exceptional. Now, Rialto itself as a map, I personally feel is a very anti-snowballing map. The checkpoints are very long and very long-winded. There's a lot of high ground in favor of defenders. I also personally believe it's very difficult to actually snowball this map all the way to the end of the last point. Even if you're like dominating team fight, you have to really be crushing people in order to actually get that far, I believe. But we do see a Ryan play coming out from Todos fan 1. This is what I'm excited for. Also, the Pharmacy. I haven't seen you in a long time, Pharmacy, so it'll be lovely to see that. Rift sticking to the May and Todos on the Baptiste. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, and I'm now intrigued because we've got Meta 1 in the Symmetra here. Rostam again on the Hanzo, but this time they're having to play this into a Reinhardt composition with a Pharah in the mix. I mean, I'm not sure what Portsmouth are cooking right now. I haven't seen this since my Plat days.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. As you said, the meta is very fluid right now. They may be just trying out some stuff. There's a cheeky Pharah boot coming in from Lukey Boy. Can't quite see to land anything, unfortunately. But we do see just Poe coming back and forth. And Pharah is incredibly good on this first point on Rialto. The buildings are so tall. They provide so much cover for her. And she has so much ability to spam. And just, especially considering how small the choke points are. Right at the beginning of this, we see Intera just kind of being forced back a bit. Thanks to that May, thanks to that May on the right and the Reinhardt. The high ground are incredibly important, and that's why D.Va's so strong. Todos with a fan, sorry. Beautiful pin onto Code, and that's their Zenyatta down for the count. That's going to probably force them back to the key player on the side of Warwick.
Yeah, you need that Zenyatta alive here just to get those Discords to actually dive players. Meta 1 going down as well is not too beneficial, so the Paladins definitely cooking with this comp, I'll say, but it's working out because of the sky pressure from Lukey Boy actually forcing away the backline. There's no real connection between a Necra, Code, and Rosden.
Yeah, I fully agree. They've got, apart from Insera, they really don't have anything to really protect the high ground. Maybe Rosdan if he can make these traders, but it's really hard with Lukey Boy on that Pharah, providing so much pressure. And Totospan just using walls to his advantage, just chilling around the corner, waiting for him to push, and then applying so much damage and pressure to the front line, forcing him straight back as Rift gets a beautiful pick onto Rosdan. Lukey Boy gets slapped in mid-air. Lovely little sleep from T-Dog, but unfortunately it's not going to be value enough as he pulls him down into a safe position and eventually kills T-Dog for doing that to him. him. We do see Insera very aggressive, actually manages to take down Rift. That could be a huge sweep. And there we go, Meta1 also takes down T-Dog. We do get a res from I Don't Want to Be You, but is that enough? Lovely little barrage coming in from Lukibo, taking down Rosa, but eventually gets taken down by Code. Rift taking down Insera as well, but Meta1 returns the favor onto I Don't Want to Be You. Todas fan, Jesus, back and forth as we get Meta1 taken down by that Reinhardt, but I believe because of attacker's advantage, Warwick should be in the lead. See Todas fan able to shatter. It's just him, Rift, and Todos, and a dream. You see attackers respawning much quicker. This could be a big shatter. It depends on what Todas fan. There it is. Oh my gosh, it's huge. The lovely little transfer coming in. And the reset. Gotta get rid of that diva. She's applying too much pressure as Todas fan sacrifices himself. Another blizzard coming out from Rift. And there we go, Lukiboy taking down Meta1. Jeez, these fights are so messy and chaotic. I can't quite tell what's going on and who's winning, but I think Portsmouth are eventually gonna win that fight thanks to Todas fan's tactical reset.
Yeah, and also a mess up from Keydog. Meta1 was frozen up and was about to die. The Nano Boost came through from Keydog to try and keep Meta1 alive. It was too late. It got cancelled. So again, another support ultimate getting cancelled here. It seems like we're getting one per map at least. So Meta1 wishing they had that Nano Boost, but it doesn't matter. A bit of a wall up there, so Todas fan was still high ground control.
I love that little high ground control. Ryan on that high ground is very scary. There's very little place to rotate back to unless you're going to get super far back. We do see Insera trying to apply pressure and retaking the high ground control. Thanks to Diva's ability, it's amazing. Ryan on the left here, he's trying to apply pressure, can't quite get anything thanks to the spam from both Rosden and Meta1. As we see Meta1 actually takes down Luki Boy, but Todas fan again with the pins onto Meta1. Looking so strong on this Reinhardt, doing amazing work. Gets anti, but he's fine. He's in a safe position. He's got that position down. I Don't Want to Be You does get the res on Luki Boy, and yet again, Portsmouth with the advantage for this fight. Todas fan's shield being burned down, but it doesn't matter. He's got so much support on him. He's got the positioning. He's fine.
Yeah, and they're just going to try and contest the cart now, right? 10 seconds remaining for something to happen here, and the Symmetra wall just has to come through to try and put pressure on Todas fan here.
Oh, he's just barely escaped with the life thanks to Code. Beautiful land placement. There's the Nano coming in onto Insera. Now it's all or nothing now. You got to get the value. You got to pay the picks. And Meta1 is showing that he can. Todo's actually taking him out, but it doesn't matter. Rosden also returns a favor onto him, getting a pick. This is now incredibly in Warwick's advantage. And Insera finishing off I Don't Want to Be You, just running away, can't quite escape. And there we go, that should be first point. It's going to be very difficult for Portsmouth to recontest here. I say that, Todas fan coming in with a beautiful shadow, but it doesn't matter. There's a barrage getting at Rosden. Code's lamp going down as well. Code doesn't care, though he takes down Luki Boy. Insera really gunning for Todas fan 1. He gets taken down, Luki Boy gets taken down though. Meta1 getting a double kill, and there we go, Warwick pick up the first point.
Yeah, Warwick finally get that first point. It took a while into that Pharah comp, but they finally figured it out, right? All they have to do is go aggro onto this backline, put pressure on Rift, Todos fan, Todos himself, right? It's very difficult to put up with all that pressure when you're basically missing two players because they're both in the sky, right? I Don't Want to Be You can't really peel as much when you have to pocket Luki Boy on the Pharah.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a very high risk, high reward. And also this Rhino Green is another high risk, high reward pick. There comes Luki Boy. Time pressure onto Roger eventually. Wow. Very nice pick there. That should have forced Warwick back. Yeah, and they're forced to retreat. Trying to gun for a pick onto Cody. Can't quite seem to land it and actually gets punished for it. Overextension. You can't go that far as Farah. These are good players. They will hit their shots.
Yep, especially these bloodthirsty supports. Once again, that's Keydog getting a very crucial kill, but we'll progress forward a little bit in terms of the space they have. And a sleep onto Todas fan on the high ground. Good isolation hit.
Absolutely, we see Mopo coming back to open. Todas, there's a bomb. Can it get much? I doubt it, thanks to Todas fan's shield. Yep, doesn't quite land anything. Now, that's Todas fan without a shield. There's a very deep half rank home kit. Lovely little blizzard comes out from Rift, only managing to get cold, but we can't quite get much from that thanks to the beautiful healing from Meta1's ultimate. Insera actually getting Todos fan 1, and there's their tank down. Going for more here onto Luki Boy. Can't quite seem to get the pick, only lands him half health, but there's Farmer sees value showing at his finest. Rift forced up. Creek without a paddle, excuse my language, but I'm so invested in this. Meta1 also kicking down. Now we're onto it. Warwick, they've got a snowball off this.
Yep, for sure. Warwick really needs to cap the point off of this momentum. 30 seconds remaining, and if they draw this out, it's last fight with pretty much no ultimates other than an Amp Matrix.
Yeah, absolutely. We see just kind of Toto's fan, sorry, being forced back. It's Lukey Boy really going for an aggressive pick, gets heavily punished. Come on, man, what are you doing? Code getting a beautiful double kill onto that pharmacy, and then Sarah finishing up. That should be second point going in the way of Warwick here again. Wow, Warwick really capitalizing on this snowball.
Yeah, and they capitalize on the Amp Matrix as well. Code's Amp Matrix so well placed to double the healing and double the damage coming through there. So a couple of kills that actually, kicked off that fight for them were from Code through that Amp Matrix. Very good stuff. Todos has one of their own though, and it's actually quite dangerous now because of those fire strikes through it, but also Todos fan has a shatter.
Yes, and we've seen Toto's fan does land some pretty neat shatters, so they've really got to be tracking these ultimates correctly, otherwise they are doomed. We see Sarah kind of being forced back, really might get demeched here. I'm not sure, just barely escapes thanks to Code's beautiful healing and lamp. We also see a jump crack coming from Rose, a very niche pick. I'm curious on this third point, but we see a lot of value as they are all grouped up together. That might be the reason why. Todos with that amplification matrix here, how much value can you get from it could be very vital, especially when you've got Rift on McCree on your team here. Sorry. Oh, we do see a lovely little shatter, but can't quite manage to get it thanks to Meta 1. Beautiful shield placement, but there's another charge kill. And Sarah eventually returning the favor. Meta 1 also getting a pick on Lukey Boy here and on Rift. It's clean up for Warwick. They invested so many ults, Portsmouth, but they couldn't quite manage to get it.
But once again, it's last fight territory now with a lot of investments from both sides. Rift's High Noon could be really good at zoning these players off the point and buying time for that sound barrier to come online. Portsmouth need to recognize that, play this as slow as they can.
Absolutely, and they've really capitalized on the brawl potential. That's it. We do see 8 seconds left on the clock. They gotta touch it. There comes the tire. Oh, what a beautiful hit from Sarah, denying a very valuable ult from Lukey Boy. There's the bumper. Oh my gosh.
No touch.
They didn't touch. They didn't touch. They only managed to get 2 checkpoints there. That was a crazy fight. So many ults being chucked out. Todos fans, beautiful charges. The amount of charge kills that Todos fan got that fight, absolutely insane. Very well played from Portsmouth there on their last fight. But that was a lot of snowball coming in from Warwick. They managed to get the cart so close to the end. So Portsmouth have really got to put a lot of work in on this attack side to get anywhere.
They really will, and as well, it must be dejecting, I guess, here for Warwick, because that actually wasn't really their fault on that C9 there. It was actually an excellent charge, like you said, from Todos fan to boop everyone away, and Ekra was going to bomb the point and land on it for the touch, but the boop from the charge actually stopped that from happening, so very good stuff coming through there. I have to say, from Portsmouth Paladins, they were really utilizing third point to its fullest in terms of how well you can play the Rhine comp there, and they are now just deciding, let's play it on the attack. The May, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? It's doing a very good job at isolating an Ekra, who has been a very big issue to deal with on the Warwick side here.
Absolutely, and as I was talking about, these chokes on this first point especially, very small, very gappy. Yes, there are loads of paths that go around it and go into alternative routes, but this main choke where the cart actually has to go through is very good for Ryan. So this may be why he's sticking to his gun. However, attack, you're the one who has to push for it, you don't hold it. So we may see a swap eventually, I don't know, it depends on how well Warwick are able to negate this Ryan's value. Luke is stuck in the roof a bit there, but eventually managed to get out. Oh, Meta 1 escaping his life, getting a lovely bit of scouting, but that might be punished for that, not quite. The lovely little poke coming in from Todos himself onto Lukey Boy. Sorry, not Todos, Keydog. Eventually going to be forced out, and Lukey Boy on this flank here, providing so much spam, so much choking. Could force this array unless someone like Sarah with the defense matrix can't deal with it, but he's too focused on that front line. You've got to deny the Rhyme from pushing. This is the value of the comp. They apply pressure from all angles, and it's clearly working.
Yep, for sure, as there's a lot of aggression here coming through from an Ekra, not caring about the enemy Reinhardt at all. Todos fan, shield low on health, and Todos is really struggling to keep everyone alive.
Oh, going for another cheeky charge kill from Todos fan, as we see now in Sarah finally turning the attention on Lukey Boy, but then immediately going back to Todos fan. You can't leave Todos fan alone, and there we go, they don't, as Code takes him out, and that might force Portsmouth back. I'm not sure here. There's another pick though, Lukey Boy getting a kill onto Code, but I don't think that's going to be enough. As Meta 1 on this Symmetra, looking so crazy. Rosin also picking up I Don't Want To Be You, and Keydog finishing off his counterpart, and that'll be Warwick holding off Portsmouth.
I never thought I'd say this, but that is some clean Symmetra gameplay there, I have to say. Meta 1 is doing such a good job of holding down the fort, right? Playing with those turrets and playing with the TP to just confuse the opposition. Portsmouth have no idea where Meta 1 is at any time because of that teleporter.
Yes, and as I was talking about, the Reinhardt is eventually going to be switched off. They were playing around it exceptionally, might I say so. But I do know Toto's fan wants Monkey. Is very prominent, and he proves me right there as he takes down Code. Another valuable target. Meta 1 being put one lower. Boy finishes them off finally, and they're able to push forward. Barely escapes his life thanks to I Don't Want to Be Used beautiful healing. It's just an amazing adaptation from Portsmouth, really showing how flexible they can be.
Yep, for sure, and a re-engage here is going to be very difficult for Warwick with Lukey Boy just controlling the skies here, and with a close-range barrage. I'm really concerned for them.
Yeah, Interro's really got to track that. It's only Interro who can really deal with this barrage, otherwise it's going to be all over, especially since Meta 1 used his wall already. We've got a bomb coming out, there's the barrage. Manages to take down Meta 1, but that's about it, as Interro DMs the rest of it. See, just holding this choke. Toto's fan 1 gets immediately anti and goes in, but he's able to escape his life as he gets a double kill on both Rosden and Kido. Code getting taken out by Lukey Boy as he also finishes up Interro. This is what I'm talking about. Toto's fan Monkey provides so much value and pressure.
You really have to give a big props to Todos here on the support, right? Todos fan is definitely a Todos fan at the minute. The amount of healing being pumped into this Winston, keeping them alive and building up these quick nano boosts, I mean, it's incredible. And I think this is how they want to be playing this. They want to build up these nanos fast and build up the primals fast off of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Both these supports on the side of Portsmouth doing an amazing job at keeping their people. I say that. Caster's curse right there as Rosin immediately takes down Rift thanks to Hanzo's short, sharp arrows. Beautiful accuracy there. Toto's fan can barely escape with his life either. Does manage to get picked off by Terra as Rosin also takes down Totos. The lovely little duo, the cute couple, are taken out on the side of Portsmouth.
Yep, for sure. So they're going to have to probably reset here, but the issue is, how do you reset when you're literally isolated on top of the museum? Yeah, that is intriguing, to say the least.
Portsmouth kind of staggering themselves out here, really not good. Really faltering at this choke point, and this is what I'm talking about. It's Sarah providing so much value on that D.Va, doing an amazing job. D.Va OP, baby, that's what we love to see. Repping the D.Va mains out here as Lukey Boy tries to apply pressure. Come on, really. Defense matrix is such a powerful thing. But Nano Monkey on the back line gets Code so low, but Code managed to stay alive thanks to Keydog's beautiful healing. Lukey Boy's there though to finish off Keydog and Rosden, clean up the rest. Code left on his own on the Zenyatta, can't quite seem to get any value. It's very difficult as a lonely Zen, and Portsmouth eventually do clean up Warwick and push the choke.
Yeah, and that was just an incredible fight, purely off the basis that Todos Fan and Lukey Boy synergized so well there, right? Todos Fan sowing the seeds of chaos and Lukey Boy reaping the rewards. Great stuff there with a 3k, and now the barrage is online for an even bigger team fight.
Yeah, here we go. I'm excited. I don't know about you, Toasty, but here it comes. Code immediately gets taken out, but eventually dies to Meta 1's wall. Splash damage is a scary thing. And Lukey Boy now definitely knows that, as Insera also takes down Todos Fan 1. So that will probably be Warwick. Portsmouth pushed back yet again. Oh, so Lukey Boy's going to be kicking himself after that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the idea was there, Lukey Boy. You can't break the Symmetra wall with a barrage. I'm sorry to say that, but alas, they use a few ults on that fight, and now they have to build them back up, whereas the ult rotation from Warwick, again, we said this at the end of last round, is actually pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I could barely begin to speak before Lukey immediately takes down Rodden. While he is killing himself with his ultimate, he's also killing the entirety of Warwick here. As I say that again, Code gets taken out. Rift, beautiful little right click onto Meta 1 as he goes down. Insera here with the bomb. I'm not sure if he's going to use it at this point because the rest of the team are pretty much dead as they whole of Portsmouth's front line and Lukey Boy going in onto Keydog, eventually taking down. There is the bomb, surprise, just to maybe get a bit of a stall, looking for a rematch, but can't quite. There's too many players on Portsmouth here on this second choke, and they're eventually going to cap the checkpoint.
Yeah, it's very difficult for a Necra here, constantly being stuck between peeling for your supports or dealing with the imminent threat of Todos Fan ravaging your front line, right? Very difficult to make that decision as a D.Va of when to peel for Lukey Boy, who's just, like... How does Lukey Boy get away with it? That is my question here. There should be a lot of sustain here to try and keep the backline alive, but Keydog and Code, they just keep going down.
Absolutely, they're just not quite getting to space because Sarah's got to really focus on Toto's fan frontline pressure, but also balance that with Lucy Boy. Yes, Steve is amazing and she can do everything, but quite as proven here, you can only do so much as Lucy Boy gets a lovely barrage onto him. That's the frontline down for Warwick. Toto's fan trying to make some space. Roston looking to apply so much pressure. It's not enough though. Beautiful fire strike from Toto's fan. This might be Portsmouth might pick up Rialto here, depending on what happens here. Rift, lovely overclock off the code, but that's it. As Sarah takes him down, Todos returns the favor onto Metal One. The wall's still there though. Oh, that was a lovely sleep from Kingdom onto the Rift, and I don't want to be you, but I don't know if that's enough. As Todos fan just sweeping his hammer across the whole Warwick's line. There's another one. Roston taking down I don't want to be you, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Reaper coming in. It's an all or nothing Metal One as he can't touch. Portsmouth take Rialto.
Wow, we have a series here. It's going to match point for both sides, and wow, Portsmouth, yeah, they turned that around massively. They played a Reinhardt comp they seemed extremely comfortable on compared to that Zarya ball style they were sporting before, and I think it is because of this person right here, Lukey Boy, on the Portsmouth side, able to just sow chaos alongside Toto's fan, and the way they're doing it is great. Toto's fan will jump in, draw all the attention, and then Lukey Boy, because the D.Va is not looking at them, just goes into the backline, gets a couple shots off, and then it's all over in most of these team fights. The only team fights where they're actually losing in those situations are ones where ultimates are being used very, very effectively. For example, the one where there was the self-kill on the barrage. So, very good stuff here from Portsmouth in terms of their adaptation after that first map. And I do want to mention here for Warwick, I mean, going against that Reinhardt comp, I wanted to see an adaptation from them. I don't want to see them play this D.Va constantly because you lose the frontline battle pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I think Portsmouth have really understood how to capitalize on it in Sarah's multitasking and really applying so much pressure from all angles. I am pooped after that amazing performance from both teams. I'm exhausted. It was so much energy, so much hype in that match. So I think we need a quick 3-minute break from this one. All right, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Just stay comfy. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you all refilled your popcorn for this amazing best of 3 match. We are on the final map, I believe. No, we're not. I'm going crazy. It's best of 3. It's best of 2. Wait, we are on the final map. My maths is brilliant. Stay in school, kids. Anyway, I believe we're heading over to a push map. It will be Esperança, Portugal. Everybody loves a bit of Portugal. A very big map, very long, winding corridors. I'm curious, what do you think? I mean, we say dive. It's probably going to be dive. What do you think we're going to see, Toasty, on Esperança?
Yeah, again, every time I say, oh, this can be a dive mirror, there's high ground control, there's never a dive mirror. It's literally been Portsmouth, actually, on the Reinhardt on Rialto, a map which really, it works for the Reinhardt, right, theoretically, and in practicality, as we have seen, but honestly, the dive composition, Warwick Angels, I mean, they should be able to counter out technically with dive comp. They should be able to just absolutely tear apart the brawl. With the amount of high grounds you have, each branch is a different, obviously, story, because this isn't Rialto. This isn't as high ground oriented on the first and second points. Each branch is very linear, but you've got a lot of winding flanks and stuff. So ball comps, maybe. Doom comps, maybe, but I think we're just going to see the Reinhardt from Portsmouth and the Diva from Warwick. That seems their comfort picks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I also feel like we're going to see Lukey Boy on that Farah again. Esperança, similar with Rialto, so many tall buildings that Farah can utilize as cover, so many high grounds that are very difficult to access unless you've got that mobility that she can use to recoup and regain her health. So I do believe we are going to see that. But hey, I may eat my words. Reinhardt, I doubt we're going to see, as you were talking about, Brawl is very unfavorable on this map, but you can be very easily poked out from multiple locations, and push in general. I think that goes for most push maps. Like, there's so many angles, so many areas you could get flanked from, and all that. So it's a very iffy pick. But you never know. I would be excited to see a ball again. I doubt we're going to see Zarya, but hey, you never know. Maybe a Zarya pick. Doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if Lukey Boy wants to cook again, I mean, I wouldn't mind, honestly. But the Farah, I think, was Lukey Boy's best pick we've seen so far, right? Definitely. Doing some good work on that. Especially with the support of the Farah Mercy. Obviously, I was kind of doubting the compositional pick of that Farah Mercy with the Brawl, because it doesn't really make sense in theory. You've got no speed boost for the Reinhardt. But the idea isn't that the Reinhardt's going to speed boost in. The idea is the Reinhardt just walks at the Diva, forces the Diva to peel, and then just sits on cart and does Reinhardt things, right? It's that easy. It might not apply too much to push, though, is my worry, because push is quite a fast-moving, versatile game mode where you're constantly changing terrain. Reinhardt isn't very versatile, let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Reinhardt is a specialist, as we'll say, as you were talking about way back at the beginning of this match. So we are probably going to be seeing Todos Fan on that monkey. Maybe even who was playing the Hammond on the first map. I can't remember the Wrecking Ball player, but my memory is completely shot. I apologize, but yeah, we may even see some Wrecking Ball. I don't know. In Sarah's Diva looking so prominent though, even on Rialto, he was forced to do so many things at once. As you could say, Diva is a great character. She can do everything, but she can only do everything so much. She can only allocate these crazy good resources into certain areas. Deal with the Farah, deal with the front line, peel your back line. You can only do so much. So poor Sarah's flipping out all over the place, trying to figure out what to do. And I believe if they keep Lukey Boy on this Farah, they will capitalizing on Insara's incessant back and forth.
Yeah, pretty much. Quick update here. Warwick Angels actually have a substitution. Rosden is going out of the lineup, and we have a new player who, judging by previous chat messages from the game, just got off a train. I Adore You is coming in here for the Warwick Angels. So a bit of a switch up here to try and adapt based on the fact they lost that last map, and because of, I guess, a similarity of the high grounds here. Perhaps I Adore You is a bit more of a I can't imagine what they'd be playing compared to Rosden, but we'll figure it out. They're cooking, right? It's like the Toxicinator swap we saw earlier from Portsmouth, where they played the Brig as that kind of specialist thing with the ball comp. Didn't work out for them because ball is kind of strong, but also kind of weak against a D.Va. So, Portsmouth didn't work out for the first map, but that Reinhardt comp looking good for them. Lukey Boy I want to see on the Pharah again. That is the one thing I want to see here. And I want to see Warwick Angels counter it. I want to see them come through with something like, not like a double hit scan comp, right? Because that's like the very obvious and very, like, straightforward way of countering a Pharah. I want to see them stylistically change things up.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree. It would be nice to get a bit of spice in there. And I was just thinking, I was talking all this hype about Lucio, but we've only really seen him on the first map. He's barely been present. Very surprisingly, I guess Todos and I Don't Want to Be do favour more Brig, Baptiste, Mercy sort of plays. I mean, obviously Mercy with that Lukey Boy Fire, you gotta have a Mercy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm surprised. I do think that we are going to see him on this map. It's so long. There is a lot of lengthy rotations. I feel like he's just absolutely necessary. Anyway, we are heading into the map. So I'm excited to see what comps we will get as we slowly load. Ooh.
Yep, and you know, about 20 seconds till we'll find out what the comps are. We can finish theorizing for now. And yeah, I'm very curious because each Brancer, there's not really the kind of like rooftops you want to be like, you know, bobbing your head up and down around and that sort of thing that you'd be playing the Pharah with. It's going to be mostly just like hard commit flanks from Lukey Boy, which is a bit worrying considering a couple of the situations we saw on Rialto, but looks like a Mei, looks like a Reinhardt. Okay, they're going full on with a Reinhardt composition, but the Warwick Angels, what are they cooking?
Please, please don't switch. I'm begging you. I want to see some doofus. No, it's Sarah! Oh, I'm so sad. I adore you on the sim. I doubt this is going to be a thing. They may just... There we go. As they all switch to a comp, we do recognize more and more pretty much just standard dive with a Symmetra. As we see Warwick Angels favour that. There is the Reinhardt coming up from Todos fan. It proved to work on Rialto. Maybe it could cook for Esperanza. The first fight coming out. He's just getting to the first choke point, hoping to hit it back, but nothing really happening. Todos fan immediately taking control of the robot, so it's going to be very difficult for it to actually get onto that side without taking a ton of damage. So they're just going to have to look for close. This is the problem when playing dive into a very brawly comp. I guess Portsmouth did predict this very well. You see them pushing their robot free. I say that. I Don't Want to Be You also taking down Code. Dang. It's looking very good for Warwick on this first fight. Portsmouth on this first fight. Immediately, his opponent can speed his way back to the point. You see just very slow gameplay, just poke, traded back and forth. Not much Warwick can really do here, as soon as they get closer, it's going to be chunked down. I think this may be cause for a switch once they reset.
Yeah, very intricate play here positionally, right? Todos fan is constantly trying to be at Meta1's throat, preventing the teleport, which is really good. Onto this underpass, should be easy for them to hold their ground as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like, Insera can't make any space. As soon as you get close, Todos fan will just run in there, swinging him, and as soon as he gets low, he'll just hide back in that corridor where the rest of the supports, like such as Todos himself, and I Don't Want to Be You, steal him up. I Don't Want to Be You just being an absolute frag at this first game. I think takes down I Adore You with a lovely little boot there. Insera looking for a pick onto Rift, who was slightly out of position, but immediately peeled for by Todos and Lukey Boy on the Mei. And he falls back. This is really not looking good for Warwick here. I say that, here comes the wall. It's now or never. Lovely charge, lovely little dog from Meta. This is the Symmetra player we love to see. As Lukey Boy, though, taking down Code. Todos fan with a double kill for both Meta 1 and Key Dog. And Warwick gets taken down for the fight again. Portsmouth winning the fight yet again.
And the dodge itself was only because Meta1 TP'd into a really weird position in the backline. It was more of a panic TP than anything. And that's exactly what Todos fan has been trying to do, constantly being at Meta1's throat to prevent that TP from happening. Now Meta1 goes over to the Genji, right? Not wanting to play that sim as an Ekra. Okay, early kill.
Oh, lovely little high noon from Insera just to deny, Rift just to deny Insera from remaking. Could this be a lovely post bomb as well? There comes the lamp. So he forced out the lamp, can't quite connect the post bombs. Todos and Rift also pick up Code and Keyboard. Support like that for it. They're going to have to reset, just jump in there and die ASAP. Todos fan now also with a shatter. It's really not looking good for Warwick right now.
It really isn't. They just keep getting pushed back and they can't contest the Reinhardt in the front line. Or Rift, right, who was using that high ground so effectively in that last fight. This Cassidy, very hard to displace. And Lukey Boy, a very nice headshot to I Adore You as well.
Absolutely, and this part of the map though, you've got to keep in mind there's very little for Reinhardt to retreat to, but a lovely shatter. Good response from Code though with the beat, but it's not enough to get in Sarah alive. D-Mech straight out, Rift taking down Keydog, also Todas fan taking down Code as well. Warwick yet again wiped, even after investing ultimates. Beats down for the count, that's a huge support ult just gone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all going wrong here for Warwick. Look at this spawn camp coming through from Portsmouth. They don't even care that they're up towards the enemy spawn and the bot is a little bit far behind. That being said, Todas fan a little bit aggressive, almost got punished there. And this is the thing, you got to be really careful as a Reinhardt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were all... I was just talking about how Reinhardt's fairly weak on this map. I'm just Todas saying, no, he's not. He's amazing and proving it. So it's Lukey, but this might be just a complete sweep from the side of Portsmouth. It's so strong. I don't know if Warwick can really practice this map. Another charge kill. I adore you does get ripped, but I don't know if that's going to be enough as a blizzard comes from Lukey Boy. Todas fan, I'm sorry, I adore you actually does take down Lukey Boy. I don't want to be you also taking down Keydog in return, and that's the later. I don't want to be getting the support. Oh my gosh, this might be a clean sweep as the cart is a few meters away from the end. It's just in Sarah. I think finally Warwick might win the fight here as they do have spawn advantage. Yep. Oh my gosh, it's so close.
That's close to you? That's 131 meters towards the end. I mean, this is not a close game. I mean, to be fair, okay, we're getting the bot back in possession here for Warwick Angels, and they are going to try and use some of these ultimates to really get a couple of team fights rolling. There's none on board here other than a high noon for the Portsmouth Paladins, but again, they just wrest control of the bot. The bomb is going to get burned, and what on earth do the Warwick Angels do?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. It's very difficult for them to adapt. They're just chucking in ultimates but can't quite seeing any. I say that, I adore you. Getting the pick onto Rift. Meta One also picking up Todas. And there's their main healer, but Todas fan himself. Yes, I adore you saying, I will avenge you, brother. As I don't want to be you getting another double kill. I don't want to be basically a third DPS at this point.
Yeah, I mean, these supports are just on something, I'm telling you. I don't want to be you. Definitely a Reddit Lucio, if there ever was one. The good thing here for Portsmouth, though, Warwick Angels lost all their players because of that shadow that came through from Todas fan. They lost 3 players from that, so they have to reset. They get 7 meters of progress after 6 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough as Todas fan here regroup with the rest of his team, completely zoning off the robot and forcing Sarah back into Rickside. This could be huge. It depends on how Portsmouth react to it. Oh, beautiful lamb coming up from Todas. I think he still would have dodged it even if he didn't use it, but still. Lovely, lovely play. Rift a little bit out of position there, but it's fine. He's got Todas fan shield. Lukey Boy also picking up I Adore You, and that's a key carry down for the count on the side of Warwick. A high noon coming from Rift. Cassidy, beautiful sleep though, coming from Keydog, but I don't think that's going to be enough as Todas fan just sweeps in with his hammer. Can't quite get teams getting picked, but they're really gunning for them. Todas fan put low and a lovely little fire strike. Nice little Reinhardt sniper from Todas fan, picking up Code at Todas himself. Just look at this beautiful healing, keeping his team alive. The unsung hero of Portsmouth.
Yeah, for sure. Todas has done such a great job over the past 2 maps, keeping this Reinhardt alive through everything. I mean, Todas fan is just going so aggro. Look at this. Look at the space being taken in preparation to just, posture for the next fight. They have a Blizzard, they have a Beat, and an Amp Matrix. I mean, how do you defend against this if you're Warwick?
It's going to be really difficult, and Sarah's really got to pick up this Blizzard, but he gets the mech, and that might be it. Blizzard coming out. Actually can't quite seem to connect anyone. Oh, but he can't even remech as Rift takes him down. Lukey Boy getting a pick onto Meta, Todas fan, and that will be it. Portsmouth pick up Esperanza, and therefore pick up this series. GGWP.
Yeah, Warwick tried their absolute hardest to get a revenge victory, but Portsmouth reigned supreme once again in a reverse sweep fashion, no less. Todas fan, a big, figure, I guess, here for Portsmouth, right? Just in that front line, constantly going aggressive, constantly being supported by Todas as well, right? That dynamic duo. And that was, I think, a big part of their victory, just charging forward constantly. And Warwick Angels, they had no idea how to adapt to that Reinhardt comp. Great stuff from Portsmouth. I love that adaptation after map 1, and it's a really deserved win for them.
Yeah, I think that clearly proves that flexibility is king, especially when there isn't really a meta involved. You've got to be ready to adapt. You've got to be ready to understand, analyze what your enemy's weaknesses are and capitalize on this. And I think Portsmouth clearly proved they really can do that. Warwick kind of stuck in their ways, stuck to that DeepCom, stuck to that like hybrid sort of dive comp, and can't quite manage to pick up the win. So that will be that for this game. Portsmouth winning 2-1. Beautiful, beautiful plays. Who would you put as your MVP for this match, Toasty?
It's a really hard decision because I feel like we were talking about everyone on Portsmouth there at some point, right? I mean, other than, of course, the bench boy, Toxicinator, but you played Brig at the start. That was good. But yeah, no, I sorry, Toxic. I love you, you know that. But yeah, Lukey Boy, I think, is probably a good contender. Toto's fan, or even Totos himself. I think those three are the main ones. I don't want to be you was doing a really good job on the Lucio, but maybe a bit too aggro at times. And I think Rift was silently like a really good player there. But overall, I think in terms of flashiness, right, it's got to go to Toto's fan.
Yeah, I think I fully agree though. Shatters were insane. The amount of charge kills he got. You rarely see Ryan getting pin kills, and Tonos fan on both Rialto and Esperanza just going zoom 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 zoom. Another one, have another one, have another one. Oh, you love to see it. Absolutely amazing series there. I have got so much adrenaline within me. I got to really release it soon. Whew, I'm fumbled. Anyway, we're going to be taking a break after that, a well-needed one. Don't be going anywhere soon. We will have our next match in a bit. So, look forward to that. We'll see you in a bit.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London. Saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you are all doing okay after that amazing first match we just had. I am so hyped for the second one because hopefully it was just as good or maybe not even better than the match we just had. How you doing, Toasty, after all that?
It was quite the game. We'll say that much. I'm recovering slightly from the the adrenaline, as you put it before, and generally, yeah, pretty. I think pretty solid gameplay we're seeing here in Newell. I don't actually know what the SR level of this is, but I would guess like GM, like high masters perhaps. So I'm very excited to see what these next ones, have to bring us. It's going to be X on the Beach versus the UEA Blue Jays. So that's Exeter, of course, versus East Anglia. Quite a matchup here because these are two middle-of-the-pack teams, right? UEA Blue Jays are currently 5-3, and X on the Beach are currently 4-4 in records. So quite a middle-of-the-pack match.
Absolutely, but keynote to put, the winner of this match will be put through to the playoffs. Very important match, very key. So all to play for really now. You don't want to mess up now. I don't know too much personally about the players on either team, on either East Anglia or Exeter, but the great thing about that is the fact that you could come in with a surprise. Last time I knew Meta 1 was a Symmetra one trick, we would see a lot of Symmetra, and funnily enough we did. Todos fan, very good Monkey and Reinhardt player, he played a lot of Monkey and Reinhardt, but with these guys, who knows? As I said, fingers crossed again. I might be hoping on clinging with a straw here. Maybe Ramacha. Hoping to see Ramacha. It's always fun. But I think he hasn't been out for long enough. He hasn't been prominent enough. I feel like we aren't going to be seeing him anytime soon. But you never know. Castle's Curse. Who knows?
I wouldn't blame you for wanting the one and only the Ramacha, the tempo tank, the one and only tempo tank that is in the game currently on the field. To be fair, I wouldn't mind seeing it against like a Reinhardt comp because it makes for a dynamic matchup in like a weird like brawl sense because usually in a brawl versus brawl it's just Reinhardt versus Reinhardt. You swing at each other, you shield, you block, shatter, you repeat. Whereas Ramacha makes it a lot more dynamic. You have two forms to play with. You have an ultimate that is literally the most broken in the game currently. Actually, that's debatable, but it's a very dynamic matchup is the point here, right? You're going to be seeing a lot of like back and forth if that happens, and I want to see it happen. So teams, if you're listening to this, if you're stream sniping, which you shouldn't be, naughty, make sure you play some Ramacha for us. I want to see some.
Yes, please, I'm desperate. Anyway, we are just saying on the lobby as we go. First map, of course, is going to be Control, as we saw last time. We've already talked about the maps there, but new teams, new players, new faces could get completely different comps. I expect we're going to probably see some Pharmacy gameplay because Pharah is one of the more popular DPS picks for those flex DPS players out there. But hey, you never know. I mean, we are in a meta where there is no meta. Anything could work, anything could shift. I think teams will be mainly just playing what they're most comfortable on and what their strongest at personally. As we saw in the last game, Portsmouth did exactly that and completely dominated Esperanza on that push game.
Yeah.
Failure to adapt, you don't get far. So it really, maybe these teams that are currently about to play now were watching the stream and kind of taking in any notes they could make and any idea that of the meta that currently existing or the foundations of what meta there potentially could be and kind of jotting it down and maybe playing it to play, or maybe they'll just stick to what they practice most likely in scrims. So we'll see as we go along.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the main thing about Overwatch 2 right now is that because there's no established meta, right? There's no like clear paradigm where, oh, we're in goats comp, or oh, we're in double shield meta, or ball meta, right? Like you can play basically whatever you want to as long as you're stylistically playing it well against what your opponent's playing. Case in point, playing Reinhardt and Rialto without a Lucio and somehow making it work. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Portsmouth. And like it's a situation of just play the style correctly, and you'll probably be okay. There's some exceptions to that rule. Again, I'm not a fan of Zarya. I'm not a fan of Sigma. Wrecking Ball is alright, I guess. I can tolerate it. But like, you just stylistically, you have to play to counter your opponent's play style or their composition. And it's very much like a back and forth sort of. These series are probably going to go like over the course of the season. I think the series are going to go quite the length, just because of the nature of Overwatch 2 and how dynamic the compositional matchups are.
Oh, absolutely! I couldn't agree more. And because of that, it's always exciting to get fresh stuff coming in, especially when it comes to meta. Because I mean, I don't know if anyone who was there for Overwatch 1, but my gosh, having the same meta for like a year, maybe nearly a year and a half. I mean, right at the end we had spam as the meta, double shield spam as a meta for so long. Gosh, what was it, like nearly coming up to 2 years we had that comp as meta. It was absolutely exhausting. Also, I apologize for any difficult audio quality in the last match. There, you know, we're ironing out the kinks, and mainly my mic is not the best in the world, so I do apologize for that. But we're here now, and everything should be working, hopefully, fingers crossed. So we give you the utmost quality for this match over here at Newell. I am raring to go, ready to go for round 2, or just game 2, I should say. But yeah, I'm just kind of pondering what sort of exciting things that could potentially come out. I mean, we've discussed meta. Well, what could be the meta? We've discussed what teams will most likely play. Now, hypothetically, I'm going more into hypotheticals because it's always exciting to think of.
Never say hypothetically to me. I have like trauma from people saying that to me,
so
and then
sorry.
pitching the most like insane pitch ever.
I'll let you do the pitch then, Toasty. I'll give you reins. Give me a crazy comp that you think would actually work. Sorry, I'm landing you in this one, but
yeah, this is a bit on the spot.
Right, start with
you're asking the May player. All right, let's go Doomfist May.
All right,
let's put a Mercy in there. Let's put a Lucio in there, and then just throw in like a Sojourn or a Tracer, right? Like that'll do. Doomfist May, Sojourn, Lucio, Mercy, right? Can't go wrong. You know, you got Lucio to speed the May around. You got like the Doomfist doing his own thing. You got the pocket Mercy on the Sojourn. You know, I think that is a solid composition.
Absolutely, it's kind of like a hybrid divey brawl sort of comp, similar actually to what Portsmouth were playing, but like with different heroes. That sounds weird, but
that literally just sounds like a different composition.
They were playing around. Well, I guess they were playing pretty much full brawl. I don't know what I'm talking about, but generally speaking, yes, that sounds like it could be a potential, especially on maps that encourage hybrid behavior, such as Busan and Oasis. I feel that could potentially work, though I still feel like, you know, dive being dive would be just very prominent. Personally, for me, I would love to make Zarya work. I've always got a soft spot for Zarya. I think I peaked in my Overwatch career during the double bubble meta with my main tank playing Winston and I'm playing Zarya. You would bubble the Winston and then wait for that bubble to expire. Then he would bubble to, good times. And you would just clean up with full charge. So while we obviously can't get that anymore, rest in peace all you off tanks out there yet again. It would be kind of lovely to see a sort of dive with Zarya. I know that sounds stupid and ridiculous, but having like a Zarya bubble, a relatively quote-unquote brawly DPS like Reaper or Genji going in, it would be a lot of fun. Though, as I said, I doubt it's gonna happen. It's so poor in comparison to Brawl or Dive. I mean, what do you think?
There's been metas in the past where you've had like Zarya Wrecking Ball and then just you bubble the ball in the power drive. Like that was a thing. Like I think there's 2 occurrences. It was pre-goats, or like early goats, and then it happened actually in APAC Overwatch League like pretty recently. I don't want to say this season, maybe last season. Definitely after Goats. But yeah, Zarya really like surprisingly works well with dive comps. That's the funny thing. You can make a Zarya dive comp work if you had a second tank. Except this is Overwatch 2. You don't have a second tank, right? This isn't Paladins where you play 4 tanks and 1 support. All right.
Yeah, it's sad to admit, but you're 100% right here. I do love our girl Zarya, but yeah, I think it's gonna be very tricky to play, and especially considering how easy she is to abuse because of her specialistic nature. If that's a word.
Specialistic nature.
Forgive me. But yeah, we're coming up with some absolute weird comps here, but hey, it's all in good fun. As I said, I doubt we're going to see this. I think you're 100% right with your predictions from last match, and we're going to see something similar. A lot of dive. Winston, D.Va, Reinhardt, I think are going to be our 3 prominent tanks. I doubt we're going to see anything else unless we do have some specialist tank players within the teams. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, you never know. You never know. Would be incredibly exciting going into this.
Yeah, for sure. I think certainly the tanks are something to look at. The supports as well. I mean, we were predicting what Kiriko Lucio for most of last game, and it ended up being like Ana Zen, Ana Kiriko. We had like a Baptiste in there at one point with the brawl comp. Like, it's actually surprisingly diverse in terms of the support line, and I think that's something we want to focus on as well. These bloodthirsty supports, because last game both sides had them. All right, I'm just gonna say it. I mean, Toxicinator. Maybe a little bit, a little bit ways to go. But everyone else in the lobby, yeah, great stuff.
Really gunning for Toxicinator over here.
That's my boy.
Hey, yeah, you gotta be harsh with your boys, man. Make sure they improve to their best ability. I get you, but
it's not hard to play Brig, but go off. Sorry, every Brig main out there that I've just offended, like. Violet. Who else? Who's another Brig main?
Exactly, that's my point, man.
Yeah, there's not many Brig mains in the world. That's fair dues, honestly.
Fair enough. Yeah, we're now at a point where we're just bashing Brig mains. Hey, all you Brig mains, you smell. I'm obviously joking.
To be fair, after the new Mercy reworks, okay, Brig is actually easier to play than Mercy now. Like,
really?
Mercy genuinely has, like, some degree of skill. And I've said this on past broadcasts before, for anyone that knows me. I have this strong opinion that pre-Overwatch 2, Mercy was a completely skillless hero. You just hold right-click and win. And now, like, the movement tech, like, the res spin, like, oh my, it's great. Mercy's actually a skilled hero now. It's great.
Appeasing to all those Mercy mains in chat, I see. What
Mercy mains in chat?
True. Yeah, maybe not. But, a good Mercy I can respect, especially one that is very difficult to deal with when you're trying to attack her for a pharmacy. I mean, like, as a D.Va player myself, you always like have those moments where you're going to gun for the Pharah, and of course, to get to the Pharah, you have to go through the Mercy, but a Mercy who is always skillfully positioning in the perfect places just to be a nuisance, where she could still provide insane amount of value to her team, but is really hard to touch. They are the backbone of a team, and they don't get a lot of recognition for it, especially within pro play and stuff like that. Like I mean, looking back on old Overwatch 1 and looking back in the Overwatch League during the inaugural season, or the second season and stuff like that, I mean, I can only think of one Mercy player, or just like specific main support player who played a lot of Mercy that was noted a lot, and that was Neptuno, and that was purely because now and then he would just whip out the pistol and kill people. We never really saw a lot of Mercy love for the actual core fundamentals of Mercy being played. So we got to give a shout out to the people out there. Mercy mains, we love you. Don't leave us, please.
Mercy mains, you exist, all right?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Raw! Okay, we've gone for Brig. We've gone for Mercy. Who's next? Lucio players. We hate you.
No, we love Lucio players. They're great. Like, Frogger, Stanky, SK,
We're just naming Reddit Lucio players here, man. Where's the love for the supportive Lucio player? Where's the love for our supportive Lucio players? Nuss. If any of you remember Nuss back in the inaugural season, Moth as well. Oh, I mean, he was celebrated as a king, but primarily for his IGL plays as well. But still, we love you supportive Lucio players. The ones who don't Reddit, the ones who stick with the team, sound barrier at the perfect points, the perfect opportunities, know when to use No Ajax. Oh, poor guy. He's retired now, isn't he? He's still getting a shade thrown at him.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's gone, but mad, poor guy. Really.
I mean,
gonna
Goats
go.
as a team was like dead long before Goats was dead. So, you know,
well, that might be due to the players rather than the
C9,
actual
right?
team.
Like
Oh,
C9, like
yeah.
that still exists, and they definitely, you know, I mean, I guess they're still under Spitfire, right? But
Technically speaking,
yeah, I guess that counts. Yeah, yeah.
They're not much anymore. I mean, they've all kind of everything's been mixed and matched. And now, what London Spitfire are basically British Hurricane, or old British Hurricane. Shout out to those boys in blue. We do love them. Anyway, who else have we got to bash? Zenyatta players. Oh
No, there's
my
nothing
Zen-
wrong with Zen players. They're just.
Oh, I love Zen as a character, and good Zen players. Oh my gosh, they are one of the most fun support players to actually watch. But when you get that Zen player who treats it like they're playing Cassidy or treats it like they're playing Soldier, who just runs in front of the tank and just tries to gun down people and then immediately gets sniped by Widow. I don't know if anybody else can relate, but my gosh, if I see one more Zen player like that, I'm going to lose it. Thankfully, we are in Newell here, and this is where Zen players are not like that. They are very smart, conserved, and know when to play back and play supportive rather than actually, you know, gun for an opportunity for a kill. So, you know, I don't have much else to say. We love you, Zen players. Keep it up. Good character.
All right, and before we quickly head off to a break here to just sort out what's going on with the game, as you can probably tell, we're having some delays. Moira Mains, get out of my lobbies, please. And on that note, we're heading off to a short break. We'll see you in a few.
See you in a bit. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry for the confusion. Just a bit of a mix-up, but we're all here. We're all okay now. We are actually changing the teams. We're going to be watching the University of Kent play Manchester Metropolitan University, or Kentamine versus the MMU Minotaurs. Very exciting stuff. I believe we have unfortunately missed game 1, where MMU actually picked up the dub. So it is currently 1-0 to MMU, but it's okay. We've still got map 2 to go, so we're not missing out on everything. Don't worry. We've got a few lovely players here. I believe good friend Toasty over here knows some of them. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I know a couple players on this team, so I'm very hyped to actually cast this game. I've seen them before a couple of times in separate tournaments and stuff, the Minotaur specifically, so okay, from memory, they play some really wacky compositions, and judging by the fact they've had a bit of a rocky start to this null split, I'm not expecting anything less than wacky from them, honestly. They're middle of the pack, so are Kentamine. We have that kind of matchup still here. Obviously, the last matchup was going to be middle of the pack anyway, so we're getting about the same level of play. It's just a case of, I think Minotaurs are going to pull out some, like, crazy stuff here, because what I remember of them was them playing some wacky compositions and just running it down mid. So, not to downplay their playstyle. It's wacky, it's chaos, Chengdu Hunter style.
Yeah, I'm excited to say I've been talking all night about, give me some wacky comps, give me some fun stuff, and maybe now finally... Ramatra, yes! Ramatra. Maybe finally see. We've also got our very own Horrocks, who I believe is currently in the finalists for the trials for the UK World Cup team. So that's very exciting. Lovely to see a bit of that representation for our UK boys out here. Anyway, we are heading into the game. We're going to Rialto for a map 2. Currently, just a reminder, it's currently 1-0 to MMU. I doubt we're going to be seeing the same sort of comps we saw Portsmouth or Warwick play, as you were talking about. These MMU does play some silly, wacky comps, so it'll be fun to see how Kent react to this and adapt.
Yeah, a ball mirror was not what I was expecting here on Rialto, but it's okay, that's fine. I do think here this will come down to pace, right? Pace of game. Who engages faster, who engages more frequently, and who actually gets kills from the engages. I'm not sure if the Mei Sojourn's going to stick. I reckon that'll change over to like maybe a Sojourn Tracer or something like that. I'm really intrigued in the Echo here, because that's a lot of burst damage that Orangeu is really going to have to, keep an eye out for.
Yeah, I don't know much to say about this. It's a very wacky combat. It's a good old, as you were talking about, Chengdu style back in the days. I love to see it get it revived in sort of an Overwatch 2 version. As we see, the teams are released. MMU coming out on the attacking side here. And we see Ethan here on the Lucio with a little Reddit style, just poking straight back and forth yet again. Abigail Nanosaurs really going aggressive, and a lovely little slam, getting a few members up in the air, but immediately gets chunked down to 200 HP, able to get out because, Hammond doing Hammond things, or Wrecking Ball, should I say. We do see Ethan really going aggressive here. Wanted forced him back and nearly low, but thanks to Orange's heal, he's able to get out. Cool Beans actually takes down Abjua, and Wanted gets taken down by BBC Radio 1. Beautiful name, by the way. Midge returns the favor onto Cool Beans, but Abigail turning the favor back on to Midge.
Yeah, BBC Radio on there, popping off as per usual. The classic UK radio station is... it's a good defense here so far. I like the Mei in that it can just sit on cart and sort of control space or be in that courtyard. I like it a lot. It doesn't really synergize with the Wrecking Ball, but that doesn't really need to, because you can just stabilize and protect your backline.
Yeah, I think you're right here. I do apologize for AJ Buddha's name. I completely butchered it. I was reading up the top of my head. Lovely little hack coming from Wanted, but not really going to be able to get much value out of that, because immediately spotted and brought back. Cool Beans, a lovely little pick onto Midge here, taken down completely, and AJ Buddha kind of left with nobody to fly to. Immediately gets taken down by Cool Beans yet again. Cool Beans really pulling his weight here on the side of Kent.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit... I don't know how this is working. This is wacky. I did not expect the ones that have a wacky comp to be Kentamine, right? I was expecting it to be Minotaurs, but they're actually playing a somewhat decent composition. They have the Sombra, they have the Echo. They should be able to orchestrate a dive, and it's a good hack here onto the ball, but yeah, just an early engage.
Yeah, unfortunately can't quite get it, but I say BBC Radio 1 gets Horrocks. Beautiful girl, actually gets a double kill onto AJ Buddha as well. Midge, though, still there, taking down Ethan, but Abigail says, no, how dare you take down my main support, and immediately takes him down and in favor. Yet again, Kentamine holding the line.
Yeah, they're completely stable on the defense here. I mean, there's no way to break through for some reason. They have the high ground control, but not using very many ultimates either. We need an EMP engage from Wanted, I think.
Oh, completely gets cancelled. Yeah, another cancelled. Oh, we see tonight as Coolbeats takes it down. Coolbeats just really popping off on this Sojourn. BBC Radio 1 does go for AJ Butter and successfully takes him down. And wow, Midge forced out of his ultimate, though he does return the favor onto Ethan. Orange taking down Horrocks. There's the counterpart down as Nanosaurs, on the other hand, also takes down his counterpart, taking down Abigail.
Oh my word, how is it always when I say someone needs to get a good ultimate off, they somehow just botch it completely? We had the Ajax last series and we had Wanted this series, missing that EMP. Very unfortunate, but a very quick rotation here from the Minotaurs onto the car.
Yeah, as immediately their mines come out from Abigail, denying any space to be made. Horrocks kind of caught by himself, really fending for himself, and actually able to stay alive thanks to Ethan coming in for the peels. Also, that passive healing is great, but BBC Radio 1 taking down Wanted. Coolbeans also, yet again, popping up, taking down Nanosaurs, who, did I forget to mention, did switch to Junkie Queen. Very interesting switch here. BBC Radio 1 taking down his counterpart. Coolbeans yet again finishing Horrocks, looking so good on this Sojourn.
Yeah, for sure, and they still have the potential to use this overclock as well. Just on the high ground, no way to consider Junker Queen doesn't have mobility, so as long as Coolbeans can stay alive here, it should be fine for them. And there's no ultimates here for the side of Minotaurs, they just have to rush point and hope for the best.
Yeah, absolutely. We have 4 seconds left. The clock. Lovely little blizzard coming up from BBC Radio. And Coolbeats yet again picks up Midge. They can't even touch. There's so much space created. Holy, Kentamine looking so good on this defense side on Rialto.
And that completely goes against the the conception we had of them going into this game, right? Minotaurs, they won the first map, and now they look like they can't even move the payload an inch, right? They got it to that standard corner that you can get it to usually, and a little bit further, but nothing more than that. 54 meters on board, and I think now Minotaurs, they're gonna have to reevaluate how they're playing their defense now, right? They can't play this Wrecking Ball style into this like really wacky May Sojourn stuff. I mean, Coolbeans is doing great work on the Sojourn, I have to say. And BBC Radio 1 hitting a lot of stray icicles, doing very well at space controlling this Wrecking Ball, and so it's going to prompt another comp swap from the Minotaurs. They're going to go over to the Reinhardt this time.
Yeah, there's the Reinhardt that we saw. Hopefully, Nanosaurs can do Reinhardt justice, just like Toto's fan did in the last game. I'm excited to see it, but Kentamine coming out swinging. They really got to do an amazing defensive hold. I mean, look at that. How many meters that? What, 54 meters traveled. Barely any, especially on a map like Rialto, where once a fight's won, it's kind of like that's it for the checkpoint. You keep going, you keep grinding, but my gosh, I'm lost for words. Kentamine looking so strong, especially Coolbeans on that Sojourn, but not even mind the beautiful peeling from Ethan, and this is what I was talking about with the Lucio players. This is a support Lucio. This is what I love to see.
Yeah, absolutely. These Lucios are on Redditing, which is what I love to see here. Abigail, very early power drive there. Nice rollout to try and get some early ult charge, and I think this kind of poking and prodding is what you need from the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, absolutely, but just waiting patiently for his time. Gonna try and boot Nanosaurs out the way into the rest of his friendly teammates. Completely chunk him down, but it's not quite working as Nanosaurs really holding his own ground here. There it is, there's the boot, but they can't quite follow up. There's another boot from Ethan. Really beautiful team play, but he's able to get out with a charge and a lovely little lamp coming out from AJ Buddha as he says, hold this corner. Continually swinging. Nobody's really getting picked. But as soon as I say that, Ethan goes down thanks to Wanted's lovely little Cassidy pick.
Yeah, very nice shot there coming through from Wanted, and they are holding this corner very strongly. The shield's down now for Nanosaurs, so a potential engage potential here for Abigail as that power drive is going to come through, but the Ant Matrix just fends him off.
Oh my gosh, Coolbeans with another pick yet again onto AJ Buddha. It's looking really rough here for MMU. But hey, I don't want to hold my tongue just yet. We still have a few meters to go on the side of Kentamine. They could still hold it. Nanosaur's still alive on this right now. Very prominent pick here, holding this corner very strong. Horrocks, however, also has a beat. It depends on how he uses it. could be very valuable on the side of MMU to hold this game. 2.5 minutes left. There comes a high noon from the side of Wanted from this Cassidy. Another symmetrical. Oh my gosh, ult's being chucked out everywhere. Horrocks with a lovely little dig onto Coolbeans, taking him out, finishing him with a melee. And Nanosaur's really far in to the defense side, but he's got a teleporter, so he'll be okay.
Yeah, very good utility from the Symmetra there. The Symmetra wall actually protects Wanted during that high noon, and then Nanosaurus just goes aggressive as everyone's scrambling backwards. Great stuff there, use of the 3 ultimates, but it's a bit of an overinvestment, I have to say. They have nothing to work with other than Horrocks' beat now.
Yeah, I mean, but a beat is such a powerful, but we do have to keep in mind that Ethan also has his beat, so they have way more all advantage. Here comes the Kitsune, the beat coming out from both teams. It's now or never. This is the fight to play for. As Nanosaurus gets a beautiful charge onto Ethan. Coolbeans returns the favor with a lovely overclock onto Wanted. Gets a double onto Nanosaurus. This is it. Coolbeans gets a mid as well with a triple kill. Can he get the Quadricorga finish off? But it's alright. BBC Radio 1 is there, and that should be it. Kentamine should take down Rialto in a beautiful sweep. Lovely fashion there. There it goes. 1-1, baby. This is already going to be a good series.
Yeah, we've only seen one map of it, but it's already match point for both sides. It's going the full distance. And Minotaurs, how did they win the first map? I don't want to seem rude, but that was a full hold that came through, and then they couldn't full hold themselves. I mean, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's Rialto as a map is just not comfortable for them, but wow, I mean, great performance, not downplaying Kentamine at all there. That Sojin play was something to behold.
Absolutely insane, but beautiful Surgeon play. That is a DPS player right there. Now, we were talking about last match with flexibility, but I don't think that was the problem this time. We did see MMU trying to make those swap picks, trying to adapt to Kentamine's plays, but they couldn't quite land it. I think there's a few bits of miscommunication there. They were able to get those combos, especially from Abigail with those boops onto Nanosaurs, which was beautiful plays from Kentamine. MMU not quite realizing, maybe it's awareness, maybe it's miscommunication with the comms, the backline not communicating what they're seeing quite, and letting their main tank kind of communicate most of it. I don't know, but something needs to be done on the side of MMU, because my gosh, that was an absolute dominant performance from Kentamine.
It was a beatdown, that's how you can say it, right? I mean, Minotaurs not putting up the performance I really wanted from them, and Kentamine really looking stellar. We're going to Esperanza now as our final map, so again a repeat of last series where we get, you know, Rialto and then Esperanza. Seem to be the fan favourites, I suppose, here. But honestly, I think this is where Minotaurs can probably adapt a little bit more. I don't see the Wrecking Ball being played as effectively here on Esperanza as much as, like, potentially the Reinhardt, if Minotaurs want to play that. It seems like they do. So it's possible they can play it just as, you know, Portsmouth Paladins played it last series, right? And look at how that turned out, like a full cap on Esperanza with only, what, 7 meters accrued for the opposing side. I think Minotaurs have a chance here stylistically. It's just they're being outmatched mechanically a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I think at this point, it's target focus, target focus. If you want to counter somebody who's mechanically, like, has the mechanical advantage, it's all about that target focus, and that's where Dive shines. Now, Dive, especially as we talked about earlier on this map, Esperanza, is incredibly potent. The high grounds are very difficult to access unless you've got that mobility, especially on the second point, around the second checkpoint. So it's key from MMU. They've got to get that communication sorted. They've got to get it down, and they've got to focus those characters such as Cool Beans, who is just popping up, and even not Cool Beans. They got to go on the support line then instead. Just absolutely insane plays from pretty much everybody on Kentamine. I don't think, I mean, obviously Cool Beans was the standout player with the beautiful mechanical plays, but he was able to have that space purely because of Abigail's lovely boopage, if I can say that, and the support from both Orange, I believe, and Ethan was absolutely phenomenal. As we were talking about, a lack of Reddit Lucio plays is actually key to Kentamine's success in that last map. Really, really well played. Great utility usage from pretty much across the board from the side of Kentamine. Just hats off to them as we head over into Esperanza. I'm excited to see what comps we might find.
Yeah, I think this is going to be either more of the same, or we're going to see like a Reinhardt mirror. I don't know. It's all speculation at this point, right? So we'll figure it out. What I want to see here is I think a stand-up player here for Minotaurs, and again, I mean, it could be biased because the only person I know here is Horrocks, but I think Horrocks is quite good, right? Horrocks is doing a good job of contesting Cool Beans at times on Rialto, and I think if there can be, like, some sort of comm structure, as you said, to try and follow up on that, like, play. I mean, AJ's now the one on Lucio, not Horrocks, but you get the point, right? If there is some shot calling there, if there is some leadership coming through, then I think coalescing around that support line could be a good idea here for Minotaurs.
Yeah, I mean, I got not much else to say. I mean, you're pretty much bang on the nail there. The Kiriko here coming out from Orange could be vital. Kiriko, as we were talking about, a very strong pick here. Very good character, especially on Esperanza, where there's a lot of mobility that's required just to maneuver around the map, let alone fight. And we see Horrocks here sticking to the Brigitte. Very interesting play, and a Junker Queen coming in from Nanosaurs. Now, keep in mind, Junker Queen is not nearly as bad as she was near the beginning of Overwatch 2. She did get a cheeky little buff, and Midge immediately getting a pick onto Abigail. That's a surprising pick. Abigail must have blundered there because and Hammond should not be going out that early. But hey, a great place from MMU. What a good start. We get over to the first fight going in their favor.
Yeah, this is an extremely anti-divey Jotes comp, right? It's basically Jotes, but with a Torbjorn Cassidy instead. And I kind of like it. It deals with the Wrecking Ball. It deals with the aggression issues they were having before. It's quite a good solution.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see Abigail just getting knocked about here, not really able to do it, after being chunked to half HP just before they get out of there. Horrocks just holding a good backline here as well. Lovely little boop onto Ethan there as he's forced back. Wanted gets the pick onto Cool Beans now. It's his time to shine. Horrocks also taking down Orange, and Midge taking down Ethan. Here we go, back and forth. It swings in MMU's favor. Maybe just Rialto they weren't comfortable with.
Perhaps, and maybe it could have been just a fluke, but who knows? We are too early on in the map to say. A minute 20 in. The good thing here, though, for MMU is they're actually building up to some really key ultimates. This High Noon is coming very soon. You've also got the rally from Horrocks, which is good for sustain. I want to see them build this up as quickly as possible.
Yeah, here we go, and the ult's being farmed and farmed and farmed again. Ethan nearly close to his beat, way further than AJ Butter, so it's pretty vital for him to get it ASAP right now. As we see Poke being back and forth, Midge flying up in the air, allowing Cool Beans to basically go to the target range and go clay pigeon shooting with Midge. But Horrocks takes down Ethan in return. That's a key, valuable target taken down on the side of Kentamine. No beat for them as a High Noon comes out on the side of Wanted, but he gets taken down by Abigail. Nanosaurs returns the favor, and there's the front line for Kentamine down. This is the power of Junker Queen, baby. This is what we like to see. 3 ultimates coming from Kentamine as Orange actually pops the Kitsune, but I don't think that's going to be very valuable as immediately they're wiped clean off the floor thanks to both Nanosaurs and Horrocks, and MMU captures the first point.
I've always been a fan of this Junker Queen comp, right? This Jotes comp, as it was branded back on the inception of Overwatch 2. I love it because of how chaotic it can be, right? Nanosaurs gets to thrive in the chaos, close range Horrocks, swinging around, AJ able to speed everyone, and building up to that sound barrier now for a big sustained fight. Like, this is the comp you want to be playing into a Wrecking Ball.
Absolutely, and they're just doing an amazing job. As we were talking about, adaptation is not the problem. A lovely anti-nade coming from, I believe, that was Orange. And we see Cool Beans, though, cleaning up and capitalizing on this anti-nade. Abigail taking down Wanted. Cool Beans with the double kill onto both Midge and Nanosaurs. Horrocks getting taken down by Ethan, returning to favor from his previous death, and gets a kill onto AJ Burner. There's a DPS Lucio. Cheeky.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see from Ethan as well, enacting a support diff, so, a bit of a mental game there, but as well, has that sound barrier online at the same time AJ does, can use it to either respond or engage first, depending on what they want. The good thing here, BBC Radio has the EMP online. This can cancel a beat, this can cancel a rampage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a good ultimate, but you've got to time it perfectly. It's all in the hands of BBC Radio 1 here. Can do it. Can they get this off? Lovely little stick onto Cool Beans, and it actually gets the kill thanks to Wanted. Midge takes down Ethan as well, and MMU completely turns the fight in their favor. They can't quite use those ultimates, and I don't think many ultimates were used on the side of MMU. In fact, I don't think any ultimates were. Nope. They just got that fight for free. That's very valuable. That could be a game-changing fight, even though it's halfway through the game.
Yeah, exactly, right? That was game-changing because it was a free fight, literally. There was no, push at all or any resistance there from the side of Kentamine. They just let it happen. They didn't engage first, they weren't staging for a fight, they just sort of sat there and let it happen. And now, there's ultimates still online for MMU Minotaurs in this tight area.
There's the EMP coming out from BBC Radio 1, but it's AJ Buddha's there with the beat to return the favor. Cool Beans immediately taking down Horrocks and Nanosaurs again. He's time to shine. He's going to show who's the boss as he also takes down Wanted. I believe that was so close to High Noon as well. Mitch does take down Orange thanks to his turret, but that's about all that MMU's going to get that fight, and that's where ultimates were utilized from both teams. Midge and Orange now, the two remaining ultimate users for the next fight.
Yeah, the Rampage didn't feel like it got much impact there, which was really annoying, to be fair, for the side of Minotaurs, as Kentamine scouted out on this rotation up to the high ground. This can get disrupted very easily by the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful scouting from Abigail. They haven't even noticed he's there as he goes in. Beautiful slam as well. He's got the mines ready to rock and roll. We do see also Wanted with the Cassidy out the High Noon. There's the Molten Core coming in from mid. Can't quite see Delani and anything, but it's great area denial. Ethan getting a kill into Horrocks, but AJ Buddha returning in favor. BBC Radio 1 takes down mid as well, so there'll be no more Molten Core for them. Cool being so close to an overclocked here as BBC Radio 1 takes down mid. Abigail taking down Wanted as well. Cool Beans cleaning up the turret, but BBC Radio 1 really popping off this fight, taking down Nanosaur as well. Cool Beans cleaning up AJ Buddha, and another fight goes in favor of Kentamine. We are rubber banding on this map here.
We really are, so back and forth, but the issue is for Kentamine, they're at a deficit. They only have 29 meters. They have so many fights to win before they can get to that 83 meters and surpass it. The good thing is, though, Cool Beans has an overclock. You know what that means.
Oh, I'm excited. We're going to see some good plays, and I believe MMU should have tracked this. They should know he's there, and there's the EMP now. Cool Beans has free range. He's actually not going to pop it because they think EMP is all they need, and clearly it is, as Orange takes down Nanosword. Cool Beans turns the favor onto Midge, but Horrocks does take down Ethan, but I think that's going to be it from MMU, as Cool Beans also takes down Horrocks. Abigail taking down Horrocks as Cool Beans takes down Ethan. I'm getting my words mixed up. I'm just so excited. This is all going so fast, as Cool Beans also finishes off Wanted, and another fight in favor of Ketamine. They only had to use the EMP there. We've also got a nano overclocked coming up on the table for Ketamine. This could be huge.
It really could, and the issue is here for Minotaurs, they have nothing to do against it, right? They can use the sound barrier for one of these ultimates, but either the nano boost or the overclock will still get value. They have to go aggro, they have to isolate Cool Beans.
Yes, and here we go. Lovely little anti-nade coming from Orange. Could they clean up Nanosaur's? Not quite. He gets over his life. Beautiful peels from the support side of MMU. As there comes the overclock. A lovely beat from Ethan. And Wanted takes down Cool Beans mid-overclock. That's it. That's huge. That could be it for MMU. Fight winning. As we see more ultimates coming down from both teams. Everything's getting committed now. Horrocks with the beat. Horrocks with the rally. AJ Buddha with the beat. Nanosaur's has now got the Junker Queen ultimate, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. Wanted's there cleaning up on the Cassidy.
Wanted and Cool Beans are being shining stars for both of their squads. Wanted keeps hitting some insane shots on Cassidy, and you know, while I have the opinion that Cassidy is quite an easy hero to play, these shots are just not normal. Okay, check him PC, and Cool Beans is the exact same. So you've got these two DPS just going at each other's throats.
Yeah, I mean, this is back and forth. Both DPS players looking absolutely sublime. Really high-level Overwatch play here. And credit where credit's due, I think both support lines looking really good. Orange with beautiful anti-nades. I can't even finish my sentences. Cool Beans gets a lovely little right-click onto Wanted, denying their carry of any more kills as Abigail takes down the turret. But I think that doesn't matter as fight slowly getting cleaned up bit by bit. Nanosaur's EMP can't really do much now as he pushes with a beautiful knife, but there's another EMP. Sorry, he was just hacked before. I'm muddling my finger. Midge staying alive with barely any HP, and Nanosaur's getting a lovely kill to BBC AD run. Abigail returning in favor on Horrocks, but Midge is there to clean up Cool Beans, and this might be another MMU favored fight. I believe it is as Ethan backs off and eventually gets taken down by Midge's turret. Yes, Lucio's hard to hit, but the turret's there to clean up, and Nanosaur's finally finishing off Orange.
Yeah, in the middle of all of that chaos, by the way, in the middle of that fight, somehow there was a shot call on the MMU side to just go under that underpass and bait everyone in. That was such a good call, and again, they are starting to realize now that they need that comm structure to make them win. So now they have a fight where they have a B online to deal with any dive that comes in.
There's the EMP and there's the mines coming out. Lovely little combo and forcing MMU to be completely split and force them back, but it's alright. Horrocks is there with a rally, really gunning for Ethan on this Lucio. He gets the B up and just a no! Oh my gosh, Nanosaurus with a lovely little B, but he's Lucio, he'll survive. Nanosaurus does take down Cool Beans, and that's our core carry on the side of Kentamine down for the count. More ultimates traded. back and forth. We do see Orange with the nano here, but AJ Buddha is also holding on to the beat, ready for the next fight, I believe. They're just going to back up. Never mind, Abigail engaging. We see Molten Core coming in from mid. There it goes down. A lovely little Nano Blade. I'm sorry, I think that's the Nano Swords' ult on the Junker Queen, taking down Orange, really doing bits now, really pulling his weight as Cool Beans takes down Wanted. I'm saying this is just going back and forth. It's really hard to determine who's winning the fight, as both carries really doing their pulling their weight, getting the picks necessary for their team to win. There's the Nano onto Cool Beans. He's also got the Overclock. The question is he going to use it, or is he just going to save it for the next fight, as I believe MMU are backing off. I say that Horrocks actually takes down BBC Radio 1. Abigail returns the favor onto Nano Source. It's really going back and forth. It's so difficult. Dev's going to win this fight so close. This is a game we love to see. Orange with the people thing. It's overtime clicking down. It could be anybody's game right now. Horrocks takes down Ethan, but Cool Beans returns the favor. The bot is still contested. They're holding out. Kentami getting the picks here. Abigail taking down Wanted, and Cool Beans getting taking down AJ Buddha, and eventually Kentami gain control of the bot again. But here we go, overtime.
Yeah, Kentamine are still alive, but they have to stay alive for multiple fights, 3 or 4 in fact, depending on how quick these are taken. And because of how fast-paced MMU's composition is, they can just keep on ramming their head into this bot until they win a fight, until they get these ults online. They have the time to play with.
Yes, absolutely. It's now or never. This is pretty much the fight. They've got to win it now. Oh, a lovely EMP into a mine. Beautiful team play from both Abigail and BBC Radio 1. And not even committing the EMP. Horrocks does take down Abigail, and that's big. There's no tank for the side of Kentamine. Ethan also gets taken down. This might be it. This might be game going to MMU. Oh my gosh, after such a dominant performance on Rialto, it's looking dire for Kentamine as Orange gets taken down, and that will be it. MMU pick up the series 2-1.
Listen, I thought MMU would disappoint us there, and they certainly did not. They delivered on that first map promise. They managed to take that map and the series as a result. Kentamine falling short at the last minute, even with Cool Beans having so many good plays. I mean, the tracking from Cool Beans, look at this aim. This is some incredible aim. And honestly, yeah, fair play to Kentamine there. They tried really hard, but MMU Minotaurs, the composition was just too good. They were playing so fast-paced, even in chaotic team fights. That's where their composition thrives. That's where their comm structure seemed to be thriving. They didn't let themselves run out of steam at that last minute. That overtime was so important. Even though they went down a pick early on in that fight, they came back, got like 3 kills in quick succession, and completely spun it around. That is what we need to see from MMU Minotaurs going into the playoffs.
I'm speechless. That was Overwatch 2 at its finest.
Yeah.
Close game, rubber banding back and forth. What a game to end the day. Oh my gosh, I just want to thank both MMU and Kentamine for putting up an amazing performance. I don't think there's a single player on either team who was showing any weak sides. Every single player pulling their weight, doing a phenomenal job, and giving us an amazing game to watch. Well played to both teams. Credit where credit's due. We will see MMU Minotaurs going through to the playoffs, though. Very exciting stuff. I am hyped. I hope these two teams meet again, though, because what an amazing match. We didn't even see the first game, and just in 2 games, I'm blown away. Well played to both teams.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal performance on both sides. I would want to give the MVP to specific persons, like Cool Beans comes to mind, and Ethan on the first pick, but then he kind of failed it off a bit on the side of Esperanza. But I say that just all the names are coming to mind. Everybody performed so well. Well played to both teams.
Just generally an incredible game overall, and I think looking at Kentamine as well, it's not like they didn't try, and it's not like they flopped, right? They didn't flop. They had a great last roar in that last fight. They almost won it. It was just unfortunate that they couldn't quite scrape it through. Even when Minotaurs had no ults as well, that was quite the turnaround in that last fight there. But Kentamine, they're not completely out of it just yet. As I recall, I believe Kentamine can still make it in, depending on sort of seeding and that sort of thing, into the top of going into the playoffs. So potentially they could rematch at some point in that prize playoffs. We will see. The Minotaurs guarantee their spot there. They're probably breathing a sigh of relief right now at that intense map. I mean, that was 12 minutes of just pure chaos.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm satisfied now. That was some great Overwatch. Anyway, thank you so much for everybody who stuck around for so long, and like everybody who kept up with us. We again apologize for any delays or anything. We're just sorting things out, but great games played today. We hope that you join us again next week for more Overwatch fun and banter. I'm super excited and super stoked for after watching an amazing performance from these teams. We will catch you later. Thank you so much. Haha, you all fell for it. All you leavers, I see you. You're not loyal. I was just kidding. The interview's coming. I'm so sorry. I completely messed up. This is my fault personally. Interview's on our way. Stick around for an interview. We want to see what these players discuss about this amazing match. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. We have an interview right here and now with the one and only Horrocks from MMU, who just won that last game. It was an incredible game as well. So, Horrocks, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling good.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, you're in playoffs now, right? So, pretty good stuff, pretty good stuff. So you were looking middle of the pack throughout, I think, some of the split, right? And now you've sort of come in, you're getting in playoffs, and do you think you could sort of upset?
Yeah, I hope so. We've been playing a lot with each other. Our team has been together for more than a year now, or at least our core. So we're getting more comfortable with playing with each other.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean that's you definitely seem comfortable together. That Junker Queen comp was something to behold. That last map on Esperanza as well was really darn good. Was that Junker Queen comp like a pre-planned thing, or did you just like make that up on the fly?
Yeah, it's definitely planned because we have that Junker Queen comp just in case we go up against a really good ball player, and obviously Kent have a really good ball player, so we kind of do that to bully the ball and shut them down.
You know what? That kind of worked. That did kind of work. I honestly, it was a complete like switch up from Rialto, wasn't it? It was like the Junker Queen came through and everything seemed to go your way. You got a really good like meterage on the bot like really early on. So very good stuff there from that comp. It got really dicey towards the end though. Were you feeling nervous?
I was just trying to build my rally as fast as possible because I knew that Nano died on Queen, so I needed to keep my team up.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's talk a little bit about playoffs then. Now that we've recapped the game for all the viewers that's still here. In terms of playoffs, then, I don't know how much you know about like the other teams in the tournament, but is there anyone you're sort of looking at as like a scary team to try and beat, or?
Well, the obvious answer is obviously Warwick. Like they're the scary team for university teams. But we have a couple of like rivalries here and there. Like we're looking at Liam, who's one of our rivals. We're looking at Subway Fresh. Like it's just the teams that we play a lot because of the nature of these tournaments being not slaughter bracket. So.
Well, it looks like you got some rivals going into the playoffs then. That should be a fun one. I think there's potential, by the way, also that you rematch this team, I believe, because as far as I've been told, they are able to still get into playoffs. So you could get a rematch against Kent as well. So we could potentially see that. But you've talked a little bit about your sort of like past tournaments and stuff. Then, like how much have you achieved sort of in Null in the past, and are you looking to like sort of excel past that, or?
I believe last season we didn't do very. I don't remember which one it was in your NSC, but we came 13th in one of them, and then really badly, and then we did really badly in the other one. But we're just trying to play a bit more and get those inconsistencies out of the way. We're aiming for top 8 this season, but being truthful, I kind of want more than that.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna go for the first place crown.
Oh, I never said that. I just said more than top 8. You know.
I feel like you could contend. I mean, Warwick, like you say, very hard team to beat for sure. The one to beat this season, I reckon. After the performance today as well as Portsmouth, they're looking pretty good as well. But yeah, so that's basically everything I wanted to ask you about playoffs. Just before we sort of send you off here, is there anyone you want to shout out from that game specifically? Anyone you sort of want to give props to?
Oh, just 100% anybody from my team. Like we have just grown really well with playing with each other now. So at first we tried to force meta comps, and that wasn't working out. So we're just playing to our strengths now, and we're winning 10 times more games.
Fair enough, yeah. I mean, playing to your strengths is... I mean, we've talked about this a little bit on the cast as well. It's very much the style of Null this season, I reckon. So yeah, good on you, and thank you for the interview, Horrocks. Again, congrats on your win. Anything you want to ask before we end off, Shelter?
I just wanted to say I've heard that you are trialing for Team GB for the Overwatch World Cup. Big congrats to that. Best of luck to you. I hope to see you on the stage repping the UK boys. Big shout out there. And just thank you for an absolutely sublime game to end the day on. Really well played from both you and Kentamine.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'll do my best on Sunday. That's when my first trial is. So.
Oh, good luck, bro. Good luck. Anyway, I thank you, Horrocks, for a great interview and the game. Thank you to everybody who is watching Amazon University esports for UK and Ireland. Spring 2023. Beautiful games all around. Huge thanks to our sponsors, Prime Video,
Prime Student, and Omen for making this all possible. It's thanks to you guys. We're here doing what we love to do and supporting Overwatch esports at its finest, especially in the Varsity League. Thank you so much, everyone, once again for watching. Big hearts all around, and we hope to see you next week.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London, saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.